it's about what's happened so far this season for the Padres. It's not what's yet to come. The huge trade that occurred over last weekend, some of the sensational performances by either new faces or new additions to this roster as the season heats up. Jurickson Profar, namely, has become one of the people who has buoyed any of the success the Padres have. They're now a game over 500. Dylan Cease, another trade and acquisition.
I think they're even now.
Is it even?
Yeah, they're like the 2020.
Oh, you're right.
They're seeing things in 2020.
Wow.
Oh God, COVID.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, "Oh God, a lap at 6:01" because of a pun. 2020 vision. Yeah, it is. It is a little bit clearer. Actually, when they win.
You know what is actually clearer, and it's a little bit depressing? The guys that are making the wins happen weren't on this team last year.
Yeah.
So, if you just had a whole fresh start, would things be even better?
Okay, well, no, not necessarily, because...
So are you saying no Fernando, no Manny, no Xander?
Listen,
no Cronenworth, no Ha-Seong Kim?
These are guys I love. I love them. But I need to see some production, not just some little blips on the map. And man, oh man, like when Tatis is fired up, he's electric. Yeah. I mean, electric. And that is so fun to watch. And that's what it feels San Diego. It feels Padres. But come on. I mean, it can't be the guys who've never been here before who are rallying everything.
Well, it can be, but it can't be for 40 games. It can't be for such a significant chunk of the season that now we're considering, well, is this just what this team's going to look like? I mean, think of it from this standpoint. 40 games is a quarter of the season. That is, we are a quarter of the way done with the Major League Baseball season. Now, I understand there's a lot of games left, but when you start to see, to use the comparison, say if you're watching the NFL and you've watched 4 games and you're on to the 5th game of the NFL season, right? You're a Chargers fan, you're a New York Giants fan, you're a Green Bay Packers fan, and it's game 5, say you're halfway through the first quarter. You feel like you have a pretty good beat on what kind of team you're watching this year, right? Now, if they're 2-2 and they're losing the first quarter, I don't think anybody's panicking. But if your starting quarterback's playing well, if your starting running back's healthy or not, if your defense is capable of stopping the pass, like you start to get an idea of who a team is. This team right now, the Padres, they're a team with some real stars emerging on this roster who, like you said, weren't here last year. And the people you're paying the most money to who are supposed to be your stars have really been lacking. The identity of this team is they're scrappy, but in all the wrong places. Mm-hmm. You want this team to be better with the biggest bats performing well, and they really haven't been.
Ideally, this Padres team would overpower people, and I think Dylan Cease was a big part of that yesterday. He overpowered the Cubs. He was dominant, man. I mean, 12 strikeouts. He was unhittable for a lot of yesterday's game. Only gave up 1 hit in those 7 innings. He was like at over 100 pitches, still painting 99-mile-an-hour fastballs. He was awesome yesterday. But the dominance should be coming from those big 3 that, TD, you were just talking about. Like Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Xander Bogaerts should be the overpowering force that teams are having to deal with. It shouldn't have to be a scrappy baseball team. I think it should be a baseball team that looks a little bit more like the Dodgers up north, where the stars show up. I mean, Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts and Jurickson Profar seem like they're the MVP race right now. For 2024.
Yeah, and I mean, it should be that the stars show up, and then those scrappy guys that you pulled on the team to make things just a little bit better, when they show up, you're unstoppable. And instead, you're having these guys, these scrappy guys who weren't here last season, who are dragging the team through the mud almost sometimes. And look, I'm happy with wins. I'm not trying to poo-hoo anything or be upset. I mean, good Lord, pre-streak, engaged, you know what I'm talking about? But I'm just saying, like, if you got your stars there and they're working, and then your other guys are working who are just supposed to work some of the time. I don't know how they lose.
It's probably a 25-15 team instead of a 20-20 team.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. It's a 500 team if those guys aren't playing their best. Now, the biggest thing that bums me out right now is Dylan Cease isn't going to be able to pitch against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Watching him yesterday, I'm like, there's no team in baseball that would have done any better than the Chicago Cubs did yesterday.
No, yeah. I mean, look, this team, well, I should say this pitcher is on a tear. He's having one of the most special seasons of his career. He's lowered his ERA to 2.19, I believe, after last night's effort or yesterday's effort on getaway day in Chicago. Yeah, Cease has been sensational. He's been one of those tent poles of this pitching staff, which now has another pitcher injured, Joe Musgrove, with the elbow inflammation. We'll see him, we hope, after the 15-day stint on the IL. We'll see what kind of shape he's in. He's been rocky. It has been a rocky start to Joe Musgrove's year this year. Yu Darvish has been hot and cold. He's coming off of a better pitching outing the past two after his injury. He had a little neck tightness that landed him on the 15-day IL. But Dylan Cease has been incredibly stable. He had maybe one bad pitch in a losing effort a couple of starts ago, but outside of that, he's been really good. So, look, there are bright spots. And I think every day we show up here and we react to games and we do that thing that a lot of people do. They get lost in the minutia of a baseball season. And look, everybody does. Everybody does it. But the reality of the situation is you got to chunk this thing out. You got to look at it in 20 game or 15 game or whatever chunks that you're willing to take. It's just, you got to take a big bite of the apple and then chew it up and see what it's all about. 40 games is enough games to talk about Mike Shildt as a manager. 40 games is enough games to evaluate your stars and how they're impacting this clubhouse. 40 games is enough time to talk about how these players who you've acquired in trade or acquired in free agency this offseason are performing. And overall, I'll give the stars a flat D. Mike Shildt, he's operating at about a B. I like Shildt.
Yeah.
You know, I would say it's maybe a B minus because there have been some moments, but about a B. And then in terms of these free agent acquisitions and trades, and this is huge credit to AJ Preller because this season would be god awful without some of the trades he's made. I give AJ Preller and these players who've joined this squad probably an A or an A minus. I mean, it's been close to as good as it possibly could be.
Suarez has been fantastic this year. Now, that was a risky move by Preller to give him that closer money 2 years ago when you already had a closer and Josh Hader on rotation. But seeing the future, Suarez has been fantastic this year. It's paying off. Dylan Cease, obviously, you don't even need to say anything. He's been the Padres' ace so far this year. He's been a guy throughout his career who can just eat innings all year long, and hopefully he continues to do so. And he's 28 years old. Hopefully health is not an issue here. But the biggest one has been Jerks and Profar because this offense is alive for one reason and one reason only, and it's Jerks and Profar. So to bring him back and to have faith in the guy, I think AJ Preller got a little lucky on that one. I think Jerks and Profar, not a whole lot of people were after him, which is why you got him for $1 million. And maybe fit is just everything because Jerks and Profar in a Padres uniform, it's not even hyperbole to say he's in the MVP conversation as of right now.
He's comfortable. Yeah, sorry, my mic was off. He's comfortable, and he looks comfortable. He's comfortable here in San Diego. He's comfortable with this clubhouse. He knows a lot of the faces around this team, and he looks like it. It looks like, he put on a pair of well-worn shoes, and he knew exactly what to do with them.
Yeah, I mean, as far as grades go, I completely agree with you, except for the minus part of that A. I mean, it's to me, it's a solid A. If you're not leaning on A+, you've spent pennies in comparison to what you have on your roster, and these guys are just performing. The good news is Padre positive here. When I look at this team and I say they sit at 500, or obviously they do sit at 500, they're not playing their best baseball. I mean, there is room to grow here. So there is a lot of upside to this if they just hang on to about a 500 record. They stay even till the end of the season. Like your point, Rich, you pointed out last week, time and time again, if they just keep it around 500 and all of a sudden surge in the last couple weeks of the season, this is a postseason team that could get hot at the right time and actually make some waves.
Yeah, when I was growing up, our school years were broken into quarters. You were graded every quarter. So look, we're right there. We're at the first quarter mark, 40 games in, 20-20 record. Grade your Padres. If you're a Padres fan, We'd love to hear on the text line 70470. Start your message with team. The talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app. If you don't have the free iHeartRadio app and you're not listening to us there, it's the best way to listen. Clearest audio, all those things. The talkback features the little microphone button next to the play button. Click on that. You could give us your Padres grade via voicemail. We get it here. We could play it on air. That overall grade, I guess I would say for the Padres,
it's a C.
I'm
They're an
looking
average
at
baseball team.
C plus C. Yeah. I mean, it's
They're
like
a 500 baseball team. It's not great. It's not bad. It's nothing right now. And now, Travis, I think you're absolutely right. They have so much potential here to improve. If you guys want to feel a little shaky in your boots, just understand that they're going to be playing the Dodgers this weekend with Matt Waldron and Michael King on the mound. It's like that's what makes you a little bit nervous, because at the top of the rotation, the Padres' record has been pretty damn good this year, especially the top of the rotation on the road. They've been pretty good, minus Joe Musgrove, who's been shaky. But between Michael King and Matt Waldron, there's just massive potential for blow up this weekend. And I hope it doesn't happen. But it's another one of those situations where you're going up against the Dodgers, who, by the way, Fernando and Manny always seem to play very well against. We would like to see them get going because they did have a couple RBIs yesterday. If they can get into the groove where they're actually hitting, the limit for this team is non-existent. If Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. can hit and be in the MVP conversation like a Jerks and Profar is right now, then it's a wholly different conversation when you look at this Padres team.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I'm excited to see it. I mean, I think it's there. We see sparks of it. It just needs to catch fire. It needs to move along.
Yeah. Starting on Friday, Michael King is going to face Glasnow, who, awesome. He's striking people out at an absurd rate right now. Paxton is going to be the Dodgers offering on Saturday. He's 4-0 as a starter right now. Waldron's 1-4. It gives you an idea to paint the picture. Walker Buehler on the mound for the Padres against Darvish in the final game on Sunday. So, yeah, Dodgers come to town. We'll get into that series a little bit after halftime here. And also, don't forget, we got those Iron Maiden tickets to give away. We will be giving them away, one pair a day this week. Awesome little giveaway. We'll be doing that coming up in just a little bit. And there was controversy on the court that we're going to get into. NBA playoffs has been a little low buzz. Last night was pretty great. We'll discuss.
Well, we've been talking about it. Padres take the series from the Cubs. They win 2 out of the 3 games, and they did it behind a Dylan Cease fantastic start yesterday. 7 innings. It was a combined 1 hitter for the entire Padres team. Dylan Cease himself struck out 12 batters. Day off today for the Padres. They're heading to Petco Park to take on the Dodgers for the weekend series. If you're looking for a spot to pregame a little bit tomorrow, may I recommend the Naughty Barrel. Darren Smith will be out there noon to 3. John and Jim 3 to 6. In the NBA, the injured Knicks battled through it. Jalen Brunson didn't even play in the first half. Sorry for your prize picks, Richie. He still finished with 21 points. He's being called a warrior by his team. They take game 2 over the Pacers, 131-21, 2-0 series lead for New York. Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic wins his 3rd career league MVP. Some NFL news from this morning. Not sure if you guys have seen this yet. New York Giants signing veteran wide receiver Allen Robinson, who's bounced around the league the last few years between the Rams, the Bears. Well, he started with the Bears, then he went to the Rams. Now he is in New York with the Giants. And did you guys see what happened pregame yesterday at the Knicks game?
Oh, with Reggie Miller?
I've been laughing nonstop since it happened.
It was beautiful. I thought it was hilarious.
I'll see if I can grab the audio, but before the game, Reggie Miller, obviously Indiana Pacer, Hall of Famer, excellent player. But he goes and says, I've owned this building my whole career. I have no problem thinking that the Pacers are going to come in here and dominate tonight, just like I dominated for all those years. And then when the Knicks had the game in hand, F you, Reggie. F you, Reggie, from the entire crowd. And Josh Hart, who's a player on the Knicks, walks over to the broadcast table while Reggie Miller's on the air and leans over and says, hey, Reggie, I don't know if you can hear him. They're chanting F you, Reggie.
He grabbed the mic from him. Yeah. I mean, and he's wearing a headset. So he grabs the headset mic and make sure he says it to where it's on the broadcast as well. It did not get bleeped.
No, It can't. There's no pre-delay on a live broadcast. So that's how it goes sometimes, especially look, if you're an analyst, you're going to say things that's going to piss off fan bases unless you're playing it right down the middle every single time. I mean, it's been for years. Even a guy who kind of does play it down the middle, Joe Buck is hated, it seems, by every fan base because he doesn't feel like, or I should say, fans don't feel like he calls a fair game when he's calling their games. And that'll be both sides of the equation sometimes. It'll be like a random, Chiefs Denver game, and Kansas City fans and Broncos fans will walk away from the game being like, screw Joe Buck. You know what I mean?
Honestly,
Right.
his face has something to do with that.
You think so?
I really like Joe Buck as a player. I think he's extremely talented, but yeah, he's got one of those Mark Few faces.
Oh, I like Joe Buck. It's Chris Collinsworth. I just want to just.
Oh, now here's a guy. This Travis Dale.
I like both
God.
of those guys. I think they're. And by the way, like, I've never had a problem, or I never really thought that Joe went in on any franchise all that. But Reggie did.
Yeah.
And the fans at MSG, they let him know about it. Look, this was a tight game. This was a really fun watch. If you turned on the Pacers-Knicks game at any point last night, you were met with what a playoff basketball atmosphere should look like, should feel like. It was great. I mean, it back and forth the entire game. The stars shine. Tyrese Halliburton, in a losing effort, scores 34. I mean, just gassed at the end of the 4 quarters of play. Jalen Brunson hobbles off the court, comes back on to chance of MVP from the Madison Square Garden crowd, and he shines. When he went on a scoring frenzy after he got back to the court. This was exactly what we were talking about when we were hoping to see a little bit more enthusiasm in the next round of play. This has been the only example so far.
Yeah, the Knicks are fun to watch. Have they lost in the playoffs yet?
Yes.
Oh, they have.
Yeah.
Have they won like 5 in a row then?
Yeah, they're on a heater. They're hot. Yeah, that's for sure. Because they're 2-0 against Pacers right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's they're just fun to watch.
They won the Sixers series 4-2. And so they've lost 2 games in the postseason so far. But last night, Jalen Brunson last night, putting the team on his back in the second half. It's so cool to watch stories like that when somebody goes out in the first half. Like, you remember, it might have been like 2008, 2007. Paul Pierce left the game in a freaking wheelchair, and then he comes back in the game and was huge towards the end.
Yeah, a lot of people think that he crapped his pants.
That was ridiculous and so stupid. But sports does give you these opportunities to build somebody up after they're in a bad spot. And Jalen Brunson, I felt the opposite of Paul Pierce, by the way. Couldn't wait to get back out onto the court. And when he did get back out onto the court, he was a freaking warrior about it, man, and just would not die in the second half. I love Jalen Brunson.
Was it ever confirmed he didn't crap his pants, though?
So somebody, I forget which podcast I was watching, but somebody flat out asked him, like, everybody says that you pooped your pants. And he was just like, I did not. For the last time, I did not poop my pants. And he got like a little surly about it. And then
I would like to see the pants.
Yeah, that's the
Paul
thing.
Pierce denies he had to poop during the NBA Finals. Don't believe all them rumors. There have been a lot of theories attempting to explain why Paul Pierce left game 1 of it was 2008 of the 2008 NBA Finals in a wheelchair. Maybe he was just faking an injury.
Dude, it was.
Because the wheelchair was ridiculous.
I remember. So I had just the year after that championship, I got drafted by the Patriots, and it was like the Boston area, the team, the Bruins were great, the Red Sox were winning World Series during that time, the Patriots, we were great, like the whole city all 4 teams were just popping off. And I remember Paul Pierce was just getting dragged for that. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was my rookie year, Doc Rivers came to speak to the Patriots and talk about what it means or how a championship team is built and the work that goes into it. And then I remember somebody referencing Paul Pierce, like, hey, so did he think he like broke his leg or something? And Doc was like, he's got that gravel road voice. He was like, oh, Paul, he has his things.
I just watched the replay of like the injury. Nothing happened.
Oh no!
Well, that's because he had to poop his pants.
Yeah.
Or he was going to poop his pants.
Or did.
Yeah. Which means you got to sit down to get out of there.
Oh yeah.
On a wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
Well, what are they going to do? Put him on a lawn chair and just carry him?
Just drag him out by his shoulders. I refuse to walk. I will not stand up because I've soiled myself.
Right.
Oh, here we go. Rich, you're former NFLer. You ever have to poop yourself on the sideline?
Did I ever have to poop myself? No. I don't think anybody ever goes, you know what I have to do right now is poop myself. I'm pretty sure it happens accidentally.
Did you get to the point where you had to do the Lamar Jackson run back to the locker room?
No. I fortunately not. But I mean, trust me. I mean, you have however many people who will play in a game. I guess you have 46 active people on the sidelines. Like, somebody amongst those 80 players is having stomach trouble. I can
mean, it's
promise
like
you.
3 hours where you're supposed to be locked into something. I mean,
Yeah.
there might be some point in there where during
Yeah.
hour 1 you didn't have to do anything.
I mean,
during hour 3, things change.
You've been there.
Yeah, we have a 3-hour show, very similar to an NFL game.
Oh yeah, very similar. A lot of contact.
Yeah.
A lot of tackling
Right,
in studio.
yeah.
That's unfortunate because I come home with rug burn every day. But yeah. No, it happens.
Every once in a while, it's in the talkback. Guys, I got to go.
Yeah, there's been players who have like gotten a corral of trainers around them. I've never been on a sideline where this has happened, but have gotten a corral of like trainers around them to hold up big towels while they just absolutely eviscerate a bucket on the sideline because the walk's too far and they're not going to make it.
And then you have to tell the poor intern, hey, this bucket needs to go.
Yeah.
Incinerate it.
Yeah, your hope is that you're on the road when that happens. This way you could just leave it off to the side and it's somebody else's problem. But when it's a home game, it's your home stadium. That's yours to deal with.
Do you remember the Lamar Jackson run to the locker room where he's literally like grabbing behind himself?
Yeah, he had to make a quick exit. There's no question about it.
The Knicks games are fun because they're like the Laker games. They're filled with stars.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at a photo right now. You got Ben Stiller, Chris Rock, Kevin Bacon all sitting next to
dummies. The Knicks, before every single game on Instagram, they put out like a whole reel or a roll of pictures. And you're absolutely right. Look, when the NBA is at its best, when the Lakers are good, when the Knicks are good, when the Celtics are good, when you have big city teams, the Bulls, throw them in, when the Heat are good, like when you have these big market teams, because then there's more interest in the sport overall. The worst thing in the world for the NBA this year, God forbid, like the Pacers get hot here. And it's like Indiana, Denver. Can you imagine?
Or Indiana, Minnesota.
Oh, dude. I mean, nobody will watch. Nobody will watch. I mean, I will. I like Anthony Edwards. He's probably my favorite player in the league right now. I mean, that's it though. That you're begging for one of these big coastal cities to have a big game.
Like, what's best case for the NBA right now? Is it Boston, Denver?
Yeah, probably.
In terms of market sizes?
Probably, yeah.
You think over the Knicks?
Yeah.
I think Boston just has a more storied fan base.
In terms of, well, I mean, if the Knicks
more national fan
Knicks
base
get hot, I mean, it's market one, but Boston, Denver is probably the juiciest storyline. But the Knicks aren't beating Boston, so it's almost impossible to imagine that. That's probably the best case scenario. Likeliest scenario is going to be Boston, Denver. Yeah, but if the Knicks do somehow fight their way past the Boston Celtics, that would be the biggest draw.
And that's a storyline all of a sudden.
100%. Because it would take something sensational, magnificent, unbelievable to happen in the Eastern Conference Finals for that to be the case.
Right.
All right. Coming up next, we'll stay with basketball because something that transcends all sports happened last night. This is incredible, and it's something I've never, ever seen before. 78? We'll explain what that number means coming up next.
Yeah, we got bonus bucks for you. San Diego Sports 760. You can win $1,000. If you get the keyword, then take the keyword over to sportssd.com and enter it. Now, to get the keyword, you got to keep listening, and you want to keep listening here about 9 o'clock. That's your next chance to win. Bonus bucks, San Diego Sports 760.
This update's presented by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Padres take the series from the Cubs yesterday with a 3-0 win. Dylan Cease, fantastic. Going 7 innings, giving up just 1 hit, striking out 12 batters. Day off today for the Pods before they start the 3-game series with the Dodgers tomorrow at Petco Park. NBA, the injured Knicks battle through it. They take Game 2 over the Pacers, 130-121, take a 2-0 series lead. Pacers, by the way, not happy. We're going to get into that. Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic winning his 3rd career league MVP. And NFL news from this morning, the Giants signing veteran wide receiver Allen Robinson. This update was presented by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Live Nation presents Concert Week coming up on the show a little bit later today. And we will not forget your chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Iron Maiden at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. It's happening October 4th. Concert Week is here. $25 tickets to over 5,000 shows. That's up to 75% off, on sale right now through the 14th. That means you got about 6 days here to get $25 concert and comedy tickets to fill your summer with shows. And to get your tickets, just go to livenation.com/concert week.
So the Indiana Pacers, during this Knicks Indiana series that we're just discussing, they have submitted, get this, 78 plays to the NBA that they felt were called incorrectly against them in games 1 and 2. So Pacers coach Rick Carlisle, speaking to the press after game 2, their loss last night, 130-121 to the Knicks, had said that he decided not to send in the game 1 calls to the league office for review, but reversed that decision after game 2 had a similar officiating issue. He said, I can promise you that we're going to submit these tonight, Carlisle said, after being ejected in the final minute. New York can get ready. They'll see him too. I'm always talking to the guys about not making it about the officials, but we deserve a fair shot. So listen, you drop 2-0. The series is in serious jeopardy. The Knicks have stolen all momentum. You have to find a way as a coach or a manager, whether we're talking NBA or MLB, in the postseason when a series is not going well, to try to reverse it. And I totally understand it. I think it comes off really cheap and really dumb and really petty every single time. You saw this with Buck Showalter and the Mets, who were grasping at straws when the Padres were shoving. Imagine this. So you're the Mets manager and you said, hey, I know what the problem is. Musgrove's ears are too shiny. All right.
Yeah.
Get out there and go rub his ears because he's got Vaseline on him.
Right. You know what? As soon as I see any of this stuff, I'm like, lose, get bounced. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Figure out a way. And look, there are bad calls all the time. You never want to see a bad call be the reason for an outcome of a game. Figure out a way around it.
Now, in game one, legitimate gripe, like the kicked ball that really swayed. There was 57 seconds left. It was 115, 115. The Pacers make an excellent defensive play where they tip a pass and it ends up going the other way for like a pretty much free slam dunk or layup, but the whistle blows and they call a kick ball. It was not a kick ball. The dude tipped it with his hand. And so legitimate gripe there. But to now drop this report that you're sending out 78 plays to the league, like 78. If you think about the course of a basketball game, how many plays are there actually in a game?
It's a lot. It's a tremendous amount of plays to send in. I mean, just think about that. That means that in their mind, either 78 calls that were made against the Pacers were inappropriate, or 78 or some part of 78 calls not called for the Pacers were allowed to continue to play.
Average 100 possessions per game for a team.
So you're talking about half. Just about half of game 1 and 2 have been screwed up by the officials, as far as Rick Carlisle is confirmed. Here, I'm gonna give you some stats, because you can look at metrics sometimes and it tells the story. How about the Pacers start playing defense in the second half? Because they've allowed in game 1 the Knicks to shoot 65% from the field in the second half, and the Knicks shot 67% in the third quarter last night.
Wow.
So if you want, and by the way, that's 36-18. They've been outscored in the second half of both of these games. So if you want to have a better time on the court, you got to start coaching up your defensive side of the ball. Otherwise, it's going to go the way the Lakers went, where you have exciting first half. Sometimes you have exciting third quarters, but in the end, you're not going to be able to keep up with the Knicks in the second half.
Yeah, and I mean, you're upset because it's not supposed to be this way. It wasn't supposed to have this outcome. So the amount of calls, the reason there's that many is because they're trying to make a statement. They're trying to get this out here in the news. They're trying to get sports talk radio shows to talk about it, and we are. So that's the success. That's why there's 78 calls that they're saying are in question here.
Well, and like I said, I don't blame them. I think it's important. You have to find a way to flip it somehow, right? Whether it's build confidence back for your guys by saying, look, these officials are screwing this series up for us. We have to keep doing our thing. We have to concentrate. Now, here's the things we could tweak. Like maybe we should guard Brunson in the second half. We're going to start actually guarding him in the second half. Guys, I think that's the plan moving forward is Jalen Brunson. Let's circle him twice on this whiteboard. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's go to a clip. Here he is. Like he's pretty good. We should probably defend him. But that outside of that, like sometimes you got to go the petty route. And honestly, sometimes an officiating crew or an umpiring crew will hear the complaints and they'll start calling more in your favor. It doesn't always swing the door your way.
It might go worse in their favor.
It could, but what's worse than 2-0? 3-0? They're going to get bounced anyways.
So the other thing the Pacers have working against them right now is that the Knicks have all of a sudden kind of captured the hearts of the country between the play of Jalen Brunson and Dante DiVincenzo. Like, the Knicks haven't won a championship since 73, and they've only won 2 in their history, both of them in the early 70s. So the Knicks have kind of captured this long, older audience of the NBA who hasn't been in a while because the New York teams have sucked for so long.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden there's some serious momentum from a fan base point of view, and around the country, it's like, oh, the Knicks. because people who grew up watching Stephen A. Smith every day, right, are like, all he talks about are the Knicks. So maybe I should root for this team who have been the lovable losers and now all of a sudden are good.
Wait,
Not lovable losers,
yeah.
just losers.
Yeah, the Knicks are not lovable.
Yeah, they've been a
This team-
punchline.
Yeah.
They've
This
been a
team is
punchline
lovable.
for decades.
Yeah. There's scrappy team. There's no question. Let the Knicks get hot and see how many people turn against them. It's nobody is going to give. Look, New York fans, you're right. New York fans, it's long waited, but there is such a tragic relationship with the Knicks for Knicks fans. It's like being a Mets fan. If you're more familiar with baseball, like the Mets are a laughingstock. What you just said is true, TD. They are a punchline. It's fun. I mean, objectively, watching the NBA through the lens of somebody who honestly doesn't really care about the Knicks at all, even though I grew up on the East Coast, even though I grew up in a house with Knicks fans. This team feels fun. They feel gritty and scrappy. And normally you can't say that about New York teams, but yeah, like if it's the Mets or the Knicks, you can, because again, they're very laughable organizations.
And we watch these national programs. You watch SNL, you watch whatever, Today Show or Good Day in America, whatever it is. The jokes are actually punchlined with the Knicks or the Mets.
Oh, yeah.
So they've been a laughing stock. So that's what I'm saying, that if they were to pull this out, they somehow they beat the Celtics. I don't know how that's possible, but all of a sudden, I mean, the storyline is there where now they'd be a lovable loser.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
The way they beat the Celtics, by the way, is if Jason Tatum does what Jason Tatum has done his entire career in the postseason, which is fall apart.
Or if the refs just make tons of bad calls.
78.
Yeah, 78's like the minimum over 2 games.
Rick Carlisle, man, that's how you know it's getting to be desperate times, is when you have 78 submitted complaints to the officiating crew. I mean,
It kind of gives me PTSD to hear that, to be quite honest.
yeah,
The baby?
That's
Yeah. Is that a live feed from your house?
No,
Oh,
yeah, wow.
wait.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
to you and
congratulations.
Kendall.
no baby.
Are you sure
No
well,
baby.
the stork didn't visit?
There's no baby.
like could be 8 months
No
from
baby.
now, 8.5 months.
I can pinky promise you for a fact, no baby.
The dough is proofing.
Yeah.
And maybe you haven't popped the bread in the oven yet.
I
but
promise you guys will be the first to know.
Okay.
We'll
And then
be the
all of San
first-
Diego will know
We'll be
because you
the
guys
first to know.
can't shut up.
We'll be the first to know.
Maybe the 20th to
We're-
know.
we're
The
up.
78th to know.
What? Why do we keep going that far down the list?
I wonder.
So, like, Kendall tells you, and then you immediately tell.
Text us.
Yeah, text us.
See, that's going to be because don't you have to wait like 2 or 3 months before you tell people
Why?
to make sure
why?
that, I don't know, the baby doesn't die?
What?
How often
know
does
if it-
that happen,
yeah.
right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you should just text us right away. Just we'll take care of it from there.
immediately. Yeah.
We'll
We'll
get-
run with it.
We'll put together a press release. It'll be
A care package.
God,
you
it'll
meant.
be a soft press
Yeah.
release. Okay. Real soft press release around the announcement.
So there is going to be a period of time, by the way, where we are pregnant and you guys are going to keep joking about this all the time.
Well, that's why you should let us know immediately.
Yeah.
No.
That's
Yeah,
why we
like,
could-
I mean, like literally, like, oh my God, I'm 1 day late. I'm gonna take a test, and then like within 15 to 20 minutes, we have put it on social media.
I think it's for the best, Fletch.
Yeah,
All right, coming up next, speaking of good ideas, there's an awesome one happening next college basketball season. We'll get to that on the other side. But first, want to talk to you about my dentist, Dr. Jordan Colby, Ocean View Dental. Check them out at oceanviewdental.net. You should go to the before and after pictures, what he's done. And I'm talking about big situations. Like when somebody has a really tough, I don't want to be overly critical, but you've seen it before, right? Or you might be experiencing this. People who they don't smile in pictures because they've got a bad situation from a teeth standpoint, right? They're not proud of their smile. Maybe they're missing some teeth. Maybe they've got some discoloration. Maybe there's crowding. Maybe there's other issues going on. He's a miracle worker. He can change people's whole lives just based on the implants and the veneers and the major oral surgery that he can do, and he can do comfortably in his office. That's not all he does. He's not just an oral surgeon. He's also a great dentist, and he's my family's dentist. We just booked our teeth cleaning appointments. We're going up there here in a couple of weeks, and it's one of those things where You want to walk into an atmosphere where your kids don't feel afraid to go to the dentist. You want to walk into a warm atmosphere where it feels family friendly and inviting. Everybody knows that feeling when you walk into a doctor's office and you get that feeling like, man, this is going to be a first and last for me. At Ocean View Dental or at Ocean View Dental, you don't get that feeling at all. They also have a great office out in Fallbrook, but oceanviewdental.net is where you should go if you're looking for a new dentist, or heck, if you're just not thrilled with your dentist, or maybe you're just a little, I don't know, completely emotionless, indifferent about the situation. It feels good when you're with a practitioner that you actually care about, that you enjoy going to see, that does great work. And that's Jordan Colby with Ocean View Dental. So check them out again at oceanviewdental.net. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Look out for those Iron Maiden tickets. We're going to be giving those away real soon. I love good ideas. I love all ideas, but I really love good ideas that feel like, I don't know, they're keeping up with the times. Zompires is a great idea. That's not a good idea. That's a great idea. Zombie vampires? Are you kidding me? How has that movie not been made yet?
Yeah, really.
But here we are. Look, it's 2024. Somebody can take the ball and run with it. If not, we will.
Right. And maybe what's the dude from 90210 that was in Sharknado?
Oh, Luke Perry?
No, Ian.
Oh, Ian. Oh, Austin Green? Austin Green? What the hell is his
Tara
name?
Reid.
I know what you're talking about.
Tara Reid will be in it.
Ian Zerling.
Yeah, that guy. He's got to be in Zompires.
Yes, yeah. There's no question. There's no question about it. Anybody who can carry Sharknado,
right? For like 4 of those things.
The big boss at the end of the movie, the biggest zombie there is played by
The Rock.
I was gonna say Vin Diesel. It's pretty close.
Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel. I mean that. Listen, if this is a B movie, Vin Diesel's in it.
And instead of I am Groot, it's I am Zompire.
Oh, I forgot he did that.
Bautista.
Which, by the way, like the only good Groot was the adult Groot. Like from the first one. Baby Groot, dumb. Teenage Groot, dumb.
You know what?
What? Yeah.
He might have to take a lap.
What?
I mean,
Baby Groot is like one of the most lovable characters in cinema.
No, it's terrible.
What do you feel about little Yoda, Baby Yoda?
I like Baby Yoda a lot.
How do you like Baby Yoda and not Baby Groot? Baby Groot
Baby Groot was kind of a
awesome
punk. I was like, well, I don't know what word to use here.
Okay, so the end of the newest one where you admitted to crying throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
When Baby Groot or Teenage Groot saves the day, and then at the end he says, "I love you guys," instead of "I am Groot," because they can all understand him and we're part of the family now. It's breaking the fourth wall into the metaverse, into us. You were like, lame.
So I didn't like the fact that they did that. If we're being honest here, like they could have just stuck with "I am Groot." I didn't need to now be part of the family or whatever.
I like being a part of the family. I agree with Fletch. Like it's nice to understand him finally.
I feel like I am a roadie, a dog, a hanger, and banger with Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana and Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper. Like I feel like I'm part of that.
But like Vin Diesel didn't really do anything, right?
No, he voiced. He
said, "I am Groot."
He killed it. The amount of things he was able to say with 3 words is ridiculous.
Yeah, he conveys so much emotion.
I'm telling you, the first one as adult Groot was good. Baby Groot,
awesome.
Awful.
No,
awful.
No.
If they should have made it a silent character.
Moving on. So another great idea besides having Baby Groot and Zompires, the movie that we're going to be putting out.
How we even got there.
It doesn't matter, but it is a great idea. Here's another great idea. There's a potential $2 million NIL tournament that's going to be hosted, I believe, in Vegas.
Yep.
So college basketball is catching up to this quick. How do you incentivize really great play? Promise players that they're going to be paid for playing really great. So can you imagine what this would do? The level it would turn up the competition in a midseason tournament if you're promising a $2 million purse to the winning team of a tournament. That would be, it'd be unbelievable.
College basketball is obviously far ahead of college football, in my opinion, because they're now making it to where it's a lot easier to do because there's less people on the rosters. All that comes into play. But college basketball is now making it to where you don't have to rely on schools to go out and necessarily get like local pub like the Aztecs did with Blenders Eyewear. You remember where the whole team got a pair of blenders and got some dough from it. This is now a preseason tournament, like you said, Rich, in Vegas, which preseason tournaments in college basketball have always been really awesome, except this one, everyone's guaranteed $1 million by showing up, not individual players, but teams and programs to split amongst their team. And then if you win the tournament, it's an additional $2 million that you can get. I think this is awesome. I think there's going to be a lot more tournaments like this coming up. I think you might even see college football try to capture this somehow. I don't know if it's with bowl games having an additional purse or if there's anything preseason that they can do to kind of try to bridge the gap between the preseason and the bowl games. But this is awesome, and this is the future of college basketball. This is where we're heading. I think this also makes the decision for guys who are coming out of high school and deciding to go straight to the G League. Maybe this tweaks things, because if you can guarantee some money because preseason tournaments and big programs are all going to get broke off like this, you're going to see better talent enter into college basketball, which I think is huge.
Yeah, I also think that when you're setting this sort of tournament up and you go, well, what's the best place to have it? Vegas is the top of the list. And if you go anywhere outside of that, it is nowhere near as cool. So Good on you. I mean, correct decision here. By the way, Vegas not in the tournament as of yet. There's going to be 8 teams total. The 7 teams that are in: Notre Dame, Houston, Alabama, Texas A&M, Oregon, San Diego State, and Rutgers.
This is going to be named the Players Era Festival. It's going to be played in November. And it's not just about basketball, live music. Several other attractions will be featured. And it's Thanksgiving week. I mean, this is what you need to do. If you want to keep up with the times, ideas are great, right? Any ideas, right? Just throw them out there. Start rolling them out. Look, some of them are going to be bad. There's no question about it in actuality, but just keep throwing out fresh ideas. This is a fresh idea. It didn't take a lot of effort or thought to be put behind it. All it took is a little bit of money. And by the way, sponsorship money is easy to come by when you have a product that sells like college basketball.
What is it total? This is going to cost $10 million in NIL money for whatever's going to be putting this on.
Not even that, really, I guess. Well, I mean, to pay the teams.
Well, $1 million per team and then $2 million to the winner.
An extra $1 million.
It says Making College History Tournament will be handing out $1 million in NIL to 8 teams that participate. The winner will get an extra $1 million. So they're spending $2 million. In terms of NIL,
they're spending
they're
spending $9 million. Every team gets $1 million for being in it.
No, for the participation. I understand. I'm saying in NIL.
You're saying NIL money.
Spend.
Yes,
but just think about the amount of money that they charge in ad rate for these networks, or what the NCAA, or these teams. They're going to make all that money back. This is going to be the way of the future. This is going to cash tournaments is how college sports will go.
Right. And they're going to make all that money back. They're also going to get a piece of the pie of all the people who are showing up at the tournaments. They're getting a piece from ticket sales. They're getting a piece from concession sales.
And I can almost guarantee it's on national TV. Because the tournament with this big of stakes, with this big of names in the tournament, this will be either national Fox or national CBS the whole way through.
Absolutely. Now, it's Thanksgiving week. This thing has to either get wrapped up before Thanksgiving or it's wrapped up on that Friday.
Or over the weekend.
Or the championship game is like 10 a.m.
Or not on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's got football all day now.
Right, 9 a.m.
Yeah, counter programming stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe you have the big game on Thanksgiving Eve, right? That's a big party night anyways. You have the championship game Wednesday night.
Because the Aztecs have played on Thanksgiving before, because there were like 3 or 4 years in a row where I didn't get to go to Thanksgiving anywhere because I was here doing Aztec stuff, but it was always nighttime.
Yeah.
And it was after the NFL was done.
Hey, coming up next, we have an update with Shohei Ohtani. The Padres, they're getting hot at the right time because the Dodgers are coming to town. And also, we gave away our first quarter grades to the Pods this season. We're curious about yours. 70470 if you want to text the show, start your message with team, or hit us up on the talkback feature. It's the little microphone button next to the play button when you listen to the show on the free iHeartRadio app. And I got to say this, we're all this talk about Thanksgiving. It reminded me that Travis Dale and the Dale family, they stole away a turkey and they have a second Thanksgiving. Usually this time of year, it's already happened. It was a little early this year.
It was a little early this year. Yeah. And we wanted to break it out early because I couldn't wait, but it was okay that I did that because it was 80-20 rule. 80-20. I could partake of some extra turkey now and then with stfatloss.com. They showed me how to eat correctly, how to lose weight, how to keep that weight off, but still enjoy life. In fact, they've made it a lifestyle for me and for all of us here on the show, but we dropped a lot of weight really, really fast. So if that's what you're looking to do, you're looking to drop some weight here because you got summertime rolling in, you want to look good in the bikini, you want to look good in that Speedo, you want to look good out on the beach like Ben Fletcher, golden brown, chiseled, ready to rock and roll out in the sand. You can do that too with stfatloss.com. I'm not kidding. Actually, you go there, sign up. It's a free consultation. Wayne and Chloe, they're going to walk you through the whole thing. They'll show you the correct way to eat and then how to keep that weight off. Because some of these fad diets that are really, really popular right now, number one, you're going to put stuff in your body that's not good for you. We don't even know what it does to you, some of these injection diets, but you're not going to have to count calories. You're not going to exercise. You're not going to count points. You're not going to eat something you don't want to eat. You're going to eat what you want to eat, and then you're going to lose weight. 20 to 30 pounds in 8 weeks' time. That's what they say. That's what happens. 31 pounds for me in 8 weeks, 35 plus for Rich. Fletch over 40 pounds, and now he's back on it again, and he's dropped, 6-7 pounds in the past week?
9.
Okay, 9 pounds. Yeah. So that's how this program works. The reason it feels so good to do this, the reason you can just keep carrying on here is because every time you get on the scale, you see it tick down. And that doesn't happen with a lot of these diets. Trust me, I've been there, I've tried them. And then the beauty of it is once you're done, you lock it in, you keep that weight off. Look, stfatloss.com. It's no secret other than they have the secret to keep the weight off, to get that weight off. Go there right now. Oh, and mention the show, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. You'll save yourself $200. stfatloss.com.
It's hour number 2, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by the West Automotive Group. We will start here with the Padres, who take the series from the Cubs yesterday with a 3-0 win. Dylan Cease, fantastic, going 7 innings, giving up just 1 hit, striking out 12 batters. Day off today for the Pods before they start a 3-game series with the Doyers tomorrow at Petco Park in the NBA. Injured Knicks battle back. They take Game 2 over the Pacers, 130-121, take a 2-0 series lead. Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic winning his 3rd career league MVP. In NFL news, Allen Robinson signing with the New York Giants. Time is money, and there's no good time for your vehicle to break down. Keep your car and schedule running smoothly with the West Automotive Group for the highest quality of customer service and vehicle repair. Visit westautomotivegroup.com to book your appointment today.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on a Thursday, and happy Thursday to those who celebrate. Tomorrow we got a Bar Car Friday inbound.
Hell yeah!
Bar Car Friday brought to you by Keg and Bottle. 10 locations around San Diego. They also have a Chicago location. They got a Santa Barbara location. I was actually just up in Santa Barbara. I wish I would have remembered to stop by the Keg and Bottle out there, but we didn't make it out to State Street. We were just celebrating a college graduation, as many people are gearing up for trips to their own college graduations.
I'm going to Chicago this summer.
Are you?
Stop by.
It's like when people are like, I want to visit every ballpark in America. We're like, we want to visit every Keg and Bottle.
So far, I've been to 5, I think. And so I want to hit for the cycle.
Dude, we should go full douche and go wine tasting at the one in La Jolla.
Yeah.
1,000%. But it should just be the 3 of us, like, just on an afternoon.
Khaki pants.
And we'll just have a glass of wine counter just going ding, ding, ding every time we drink a glass of wine, and then just see how bad it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Or how good it gets.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. Yeah. I'm not gonna argue.
We can all sleep on Rich's couch.
You're damn right you can. Yeah.
Woo!
That's just a quick trip south from there. All right, so the Padres, they've played 40 games. They're 20-20. So I think the very easiest way to do this is to be like, okay, Padres are C+, C-, C baseball team if you were going to put a letter grade on the Padres this season so far. But try to be a little bit more creative. And 70470, start your text with team if you want to give an average grade over the first quarter of this season to the Padres. We'd be curious your thoughts. We got this one from the 858, B-, above average grade, even though they have an average record. So there you go. There's a Padre fan in the listening audience who's willing to give them a B-. Now, I don't know if I were going to be a little bit more extreme with my grading. I don't think I would be as optimistic right now. But I'm curious if I'm being influenced by recent events or if it's how I actually feel how this team projects. Because if I look at the players, Machado, Bogarts, Fernando Tatis Jr., and what they should look like this season, and you think about progression to the mean, now, like these guys have underperformed who they are. So as soon as the 3 of them wake up, and Bogarts, we need you in a big way because it hasn't happened as a Padre yet. But we know what Fernando looks like when he gets on a heater. We've seen Manny Machado when he's playing at his best. These guys can smack the cover off the baseball. So I think I'm going to try to be optimistic again. I'm going to agree with our texter. I could eke out a B- grade to this point in the season with hope that future potential will reflect.
So let's go of the 8 players who are getting the most serious playing time right now, right? So the average everyday lineup: Jerks Profar, Jake Cronenworth, Jackson Merrill, Luis Campusano, Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Ha-Seong Kim. The order I just listed them off in is the order of batting average on this team. So the bottom 4 of batting average on this team is Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Ha-Seong Kim.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's unacceptable is actually what it is. If the 3 guys making the most money on this are 5, 6, and 7 on your team in batting average, you got some serious problems. Now, Jerks Profar has had a stupid, amazing start to the season, so maybe he's at the top, but then those guys all need to be right behind him.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I could see you click this thing up to that B- range is where they're sitting in the standings. Okay, so at the start of the season, I went, I don't know, they're going to finish 4th here in the West, and they're sitting in 2nd place. They're sitting in 2nd place that in a spot where I already thought they're not going to beat the Dodgers here in this thing. The Dodgers are going to win this because they've spent a gazillion dollars to do so. So if they finish in 2nd in the West, I mean, they're most likely in the playoffs.
Yeah, you would assume. I mean, I guess it depends on
How bad everything else
the NL West is. I mean, but I look, this should be a playoff team. Like, I know,
right?
You sounded so sad.
I did. But it's just like last year should have been a playoff team. Like, the only reason why I feel like people are skeptical of this lineup and this roster is because you're being influenced by the events of last year, which I don't blame anybody. Of course you should be. You know, life doesn't occur in a vacuum. You know, today, who you are today will be obviously influenced by who you were yesterday. It doesn't mean you can't change, but change takes time. And I understand anybody who's thinking that this is going to be a wonky season for the Padres. I'm one of them. However, again, if players play to expectations and not down to the level we saw last year, this team is capable of winning a World Series. And I'm not just saying that to say it. I truly believe that. The problem is convincing yourself that that's even a possibility with a 20-20 record through 40 games. And the fact that last year did happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're looking at report cards here, as I'm looking up in the educationworld.com, different, what? I'm just looking at different comments that would go on report cards. And in order to get an A under work habits, exceeds expectations with the quality of their work. That has not happened for me.
Yeah.
So you are not exceeding expectations. You can't get an A grade.
Can we pause on that real quick? Because 20-20 has exceeded my expectations.
Well, that is true. Given your preseason expectations.
Like,
they're
being
an A?
No, not an
A
A.
for effort.
But being a 500 team by this point in the year, it's honestly impressed me a little bit.
I mean,
Which is a yucky spot to be in.
That's not great. That 500 has impressed you with this lineup.
Now, I can add a caveat to it. It's 500 without their main three performing well.
You guys ever had caviar?
Yeah.
Is it good?
No.
Yeah. It's salty.
Overrated.
You think it's overrated?
I think it's...
Well, you just said you haven't had it.
I said yeah.
Oh, I thought you said no.
So caviar, and I have a thing about this, but caviar, for people who can just like, oh yeah, let's add caviar into this. Like, they like it because they can say, oh yeah, let's just add caviar into this.
Oh, they just say it just to say it?
Well,
No, they say it because they can say it.
Yeah, because it's like a $300 jar or something.
Well, at a restaurant, it's like you can get whatever your thing is, right? And then you add caviar for $25. And it's a tiny little scoop.
There's no way. It's gross.
It's not good.
It's good.
Like, it's nothing I would go like, oh my God, we have caviar? Let me take a scoop.
It's salty?
Yes, it's salty.
Super salty.
But okay, it is an acquired taste. I will agree with it. But
This is all because you said caveat, by the way. I'm sorry.
But I love sardines. Like, I'll eat them. I'll eat an entire can of sardines. I love
also
sardines
salty?
are good on
salty.
a Caesar salad.
Right, but I'll eat them right out of the can. So
That's gross.
Right. So, but to you,
How about Vienna sausages?
Vienna sausages also. Look, there's not a lot of things that I say no to. So unfortunately, maybe I'm a terrible judge of this. Hey, text line, do you like caviar? No. Text line.
Hit us up on the talkback, Mike.
Yeah, 70470. Start your message with a team. If you want to grade the Padres season, we have a full quarter of Padres baseball has been played. 40 games into the season, right? So we would love to hear from you about the Padres. Also, the talkback feature, like you just mentioned, free iHeartRadio app. Download the app. You can leave us a voicemail by clicking that little microphone button next to the play button. We'd love to hear from you there. Here's my thoughts on the identity of this team, because again, we can grade the team. That's one thing. But then how about just an evaluation of like who they are this season? I think we are able to uncover a lot over the course of 40 games to say who they are. And this is who the Padres are to me. They're a team who are overachieving considering how poorly their stars have performed. This team would be nothing if it weren't for Dylan Cease, Jurickson Profar, Jackson Merrill, the way he started the season. This team would be nothing without those guys. This team would be nothing without those guys. They would be a dog pile. The fact that you have basically $750 million owed to three underperforming players in your lineup, it is. I mean, if it continues at this pace and we get to the All-Star break and you have some of your lowest averages in your everyday lineup are Machado, Tatis, and Bogarts, that is condemning. That is damning. That is as bad as it gets.
That's what it is right now. Those three guys are near the bottom. They're 5, 6, 7 in terms of batting average, and they're all 255 or below.
What would you say is the identity of this team, Fletch?
Identity of this team right now is Jerks and Profar.
That's it?
It's literally
2 words.
Yeah, it's Jerks and
Profar.
Profar. Dude, he's been the savior a little bit. I know he had a rough day yesterday, and Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., I think we've been bashing them a lot. They did have 2 RBIs yesterday between the two of them.
Yeah.
Like, that was positive sign to see. That should be an everyday type of thing. It shouldn't be a surprise when that happens. And by the way, the dude on base for both of those, the guy who scored, is Luis Ariz. Sorry, I always say his last name a little messed up. We did get a talk back talking about the Padres. And this is one of those Padres fans who seems like they're just hanging on.
Just a quick.
Yeah, Padre positives.
Well, I was watching a guy on social media last night kind of do the same thing. He was like, look, you have to stay positive because if you're a Padres fan, you've been through so much. They put you through so much. Like, it's the only thing you could do with this team anymore is just hope for the best.
Well, it's the only thing you can do if you support any team. I mean, you got to stay positive on the team. Otherwise, you just get bitter and you hate the team. So, I mean, this is our team. This is our hometown team. These are the people we love. This is the team we back. This is what we're fighting for. We want to see a championship here, but of course, and you know what? We try to stay positive, but we're also going to point out the honest features here in this thing. But if you want to leave a talk back as well, hit us up on the free iHeartRadio app. You'll see that microphone. Tap that. Send us a message. Whatever you'd like to say, give us a Padre positive.
All right, my morning monologue is pretty simple. So you saw the success of this NFL roast, and I'm going to call it an NFL roast because it wasn't just Tom Brady on that stage. Yeah, Julian Edelman, who, some people say could be a future Hall of Famer. Obviously, Brady. You had Gronkowski, who will be a future Hall of Famer. You had Drew Bledsoe. You had Peyton Manning. I mean, Eli Manning's tweeting about how he would be there, but he didn't want to roast Brady 3 times. I get it. It was a comedic event, Kevin Hart, and we could go through the list of comedians and celebrities that appeared on there. But let's be very clear about this. This was an NFL Netflix event. So start wrapping your head around it. The NFL is going to be streaming only within the decade. There is no question about it. They are investing a tremendous amount of money in streaming anyways. And by the way, streaming networks are investing a lot of money in the NFL. You've seen what Amazon paid for the Thursday night package, $11 billion over 11 years for one game a week. Okay. You saw how much money Peacock spent on the postseason streaming game over the past 2 seasons. It is tremendous, astounding numbers that they're spending on these streaming, right? So trust me when I tell you, that was my biggest takeaway from the Netflix roast of Tom Brady is the NFL is coming to streaming, and it may be coming to Netflix at some point.
Not sure if you saw this, Richie, but at 8 o'clock, we'll talk about it a little more. Netflix is in on the NFL. They're trying to get Christmas Day this year for 2024, which is why a lot of people think the schedule release day has been pushed back a little bit. It's going to be next Wednesday now instead of this week.
Yep.
They think it's because the NFL is trying to start this. Well, the bidding war is going on for the Christmas Day games, and it looks like Netflix has entered the chat for the tune of a lot of money.
Netflix evolving here and rapidly moving. I guess, I was going to say to a younger audience, just because sometimes I feel old, how quickly things move. And that's where my monologue starts. And I'm coming to acceptance with it. I've reached the age where I have to take the bedtime halftime. I wake up at 1:30. I got to pee. I got to grab a Q-tip. I have to stretch. I crack my back.
You grab a Q-tip. Is that related to peeing?
No. I don't use it for peeing, which I read in an editorial. I use it on my ear.
Got
it.
Well,
my ear itches. Cute. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I got to stretch. I got to crack my back. I got to flip the pillow over. It's a nightly routine now, and guys, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Right.
That was it.
All right.
Hashtag 45.
Hashtag 45,
Dude,
which seems like that's too young to be here already.
No. You know what? Just settle in, partner. This is what the backstretch looks like. And I'm not talking about what you were talking. You're not stretching your back. We're counting the days, TD. You're on your way to the grave.
I thought I was going to die last night when I got up because I left my shoes right by the bed and I tripped over them. I almost took a header into the wall. I almost died last night to be here.
Gosh, oh my
TD is
gosh.
so
You were so
old.
brave.
Yeah.
That yesterday sent a video to the group text of the three of us that is a creek in his backyard that had a crawfish in it.
Oh, there's so many crawfish. There's so many crawfish.
You're so into it.
It was so I thought, like, what if I just get a couple of them and put them in like a aquarium here in not our office?
I love the way you're talking right now. I will say this.
No, we're gonna just watch them.
No, I love a crawfish boil.
No. Wow, that's gross.
I will say that if we put
I wouldn't eat that.
an animal in our office, we will no longer have an office. There's no doubt in my life. We are this close to losing our office based on the just a general conversation happening around this building.
Tube City.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Hamsters running all over the
Hamsters
place.
all over the
We
place.
could connect it to the studio all the way back to the office.
We could do it through the ceiling. No one would even know.
You owe me.
Yeah.
You guys, there's like a lot of meowing coming from your office. Yeah, we built in a kitty cat door. Why would you do that? Well, there's a lot of feral cats in the Mira Mesa area. So yeah, it's kitty cat door.
I'm here for this.
My morning monologue goes actually directly to Rich Ornberger. I blame you for something.
Wow.
How long have we known each other? 6, 7 years? Like since the day I spit my beer on Mark Willard to now.
That feels like, about 7 years.
About 7 years,
Yeah, 6 or 7.
So throughout that time, I think I've gotten to know you pretty well. And one of the things that I pinpointed early with you is that if you scroll through Instagram on any given day, you're going to buy something.
Oh, yeah.
Like you are the easiest. Oh, that ad worked on me. Oh, hey, dude, shoes. Sign me up.
It's so funny you said that. I had 2 boxes of Hey Dude shoes in my hands at Dick's Sporting Goods the last time I went with Annie. We were buying the kid shoes and we're at the checkout counter. It was all because of Instagram. And I put them down and she was like, "What are those?" And I was like, I got these. She opens the box. She's like, "Absolutely not. Put those back immediately." I'm like, "No, they're cool." She was like, "Says who?" I was like, "So I'm on Instagram." She was like, "Who told you they were cool?" I was like, "The Hey Dude ad."
So that's something that you've done for years now. In fact, you've bought.
Hey, dude, like the show?
No, there's shoes. Hey, dude.
You got to look at
They
them.
are pretty comfortable. I've
really cool.
worn a couple. But
Remember
anyways,
Hey Dude, the show?
Yeah.
Hey Dudes is not part of this.
Wow.
What's part of this is I feel like you've infected me because not an hour ago, scrolling through Instagram, there was an ad pop up for buy one, get 2 pairs free of sunglasses.
Yep.
And I'm now the proud owner of 3 new pairs of sunglasses
Yep.
because I just spent $70 because I figured, oh, well, basically they're free because 2 of them are free.
Yep. You made the right choice.
And they're all douchers. You're welcome. I'll be wearing them in studio starting soon.
Hey Dude shoes look like slippers.
My dad wears them every day.
So I could probably wear those.
Yeah, you're getting to the age.
Yeah.
See, Annie
$30.
she refused to let me buy these. She was like, "Those are hideous." I was like, "No, they are not." And then, like I said, she goes, "Says who?" And I used the advertisement as reference. I pulled out my phone and I showed her. She was like, "That's an ad. Of course they're telling you to buy them." I'm like, yeah, but they're cool, right? She was like, "No, put them back." So I would have had 2 pairs of those.
Pretty sure my dad just wore those to a wedding.
Oh, really?
Wow.
He was wearing them all weekend.
But that's what. But you know what? Your dad and me think the same thing. Me and Keith Fletcher. You know what I said to Annie? That's so crazy. I said, "Ann, I could wear these to the beach and I could wear them to a wedding." And she was like, "You will wear them to neither."
I want the ones with like bass on them.
See, my God, they didn't have those at the store.
Wow.
I wanted the fishy ones.
Gosh. Okay. We're going to have to place an order.
Anyways, I got 3 new pairs of doucher sunglasses coming and I can't wait.
So
hey,
we're
prize picks.
The fish lures.
Yeah, we will get to prize picks in a second. We're starting to get some of your texts, your tweets, and your talkbacks in on the Padres. What would you grade them? The first quarter into the season, letter grade, just like you're giving them a report card. What would you give them? What letter grade would you give the Padres? Also, if you want to give a follow-up, what's this team's identity? It's 40 games in. We have a big old sample size now. Who are your San Diego Padres? Coming up next, we'll get into that. Along with that, boy, we've seen it before when the court or the playing field ends up being decided in the courts. Not a good look. That's what's happening to one professional basketball player.
Rich, I've never been happier to lose a Prize Picks lineup than I was yesterday.
What happened?
Because, well, Dylan Cease was so dominant, and I had his less than on strikeouts for the day. I thought he was going to pitch well, and I said this on the show yesterday, but I thought it was going to be a lot of ground outs, a lot of pop-ups. Dylan Cease was freaking dominant and had 12 strikeouts, blowing the 7 strikeout marker out of the water. And so I lost yesterday, but I was stoked about it because Dylan Cease was dominant.
Yeah.
Get on over to Prize Picks today. It makes sports viewing so much more fun. It puts you into sports heaven just like it did with the two of us. And it is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. Since we started talking about it, that's grown by 2 million, by the way. It's the most fun, the most exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports. And right now, you can win up to 100 times your cash on Prize Picks if you use the little demons.
Yeah, the little demons, they're really, really important to keep an eye on those. The stars during the NBA postseason, they have all these little games. And I love the notifications. I have the notifications turned on the Prize Picks app. And if you do that, they're going to tell you when they have certain promotions running where they actually give you money to play with, or they offer you insurances on your lineups that you're submitting. It's very simple. Download the Prize Picks app if you don't have it already. When you sign up with promo code DOGS. You heard it. DOGS, dogs. When you do that, your first deposit is doubled up to $100. So if you put in 50, you got $100 to play it. You put in $100 like me and Fletch did, you get $200 to play with. I am still playing off of that initial promotion, and all I do is win, no matter what. You know what? People say, Rich, you're a genius. You make things up that just are so catchy. I made that up myself on the spot. Look, the point is Prize Picks. Incredible. Dogs, promo code.
Another one. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 fantasy sports app. And the quick withdrawals is no joke. I've won $500 on a Sunday before, humble brag. And then by Monday morning, it was in my bank account.
We call him Quick Withdrawal Ben. That's what we call him around here.
Always have been.
Jerk. Picks. Pick more, pick less, pick all the time. It's our favorite. What, right?
Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Prize Picks, and use promo code DOGS when you sign up.
Keep up with San Diego Sports 760 anytime, anywhere. Whether you're stepping out of the car or settling in at home, just ask your Google or Alexa smart speaker to play AM 760 or stream it live through the iHeartRadio app. It's never been easier to stay connected with your favorite shows like Big Rich, TD, and Fletch right here on San Diego Sports 760. We go where you go. Yeah.
This update is presented by Taco Bell. Padres take the series from the Cubs yesterday with a 3-0 win. Dylan Cease, fantastic. 7 innings, giving up just 1 hit, striking out 12 batters en route to a Padres win. Day off today before they start the 3-game series with the Dodgers tomorrow at Petco Park. If you're looking for a spot to pregame down in the Gaslamp, might we recommend the Naughty Barrel? Darren Smith will be there noon to 3, John and Jim 3 to 6. In the NBA, the injured Knicks battle through pain to take game 2 over the Pacers, 130-121. Knicks have a 2-0 series lead. Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic, he wins his 3rd career league MVP. NFL news from this morning, New York Giants signing veteran wide receiver Allen Robinson to join Daniel Jones. Taco Bell's new craving value menu is a big deal, or rather, it's 10 big deals, from new items like the loaded nachos to familiar favorites like the spicy potato soft taco. Check it out at participating Taco Bell locations today, available for a limited time only while supplies last.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Iron Maiden tickets right around the corner. We promise. They're going to be out at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater October 4th. Everybody, settle down.
That dude is a bat out of hell when he runs in.
Rich is back in the studio. May have broken the door on the way in. I've never seen that door open any quicker, to be quite honest. So the door weighs about 1,200 pounds.
I don't know.
And Rich knocks that thing out of the way.
Since the stuff got hung in studio, the big white curtain, wallpaper, whatever it is, we have not seen behind it. And Rich opens that door aggressively every single day.
There's got to be divots.
Got to be.
There has to be a giant one from the handle. Hang on. We're going to pull back the curtain. And what? Oh. There is a massive There's a
broke
massive
the
handle
studio.
mark. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody, you know what? Never move that curtain. It wasn't us. Probably engineering. It's probably who it was.
Rich, you broke the
it's that
building.
damn
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
Rigg.
Also, right behind you, if you move that curtain, there are knuckle marks from your fists that were pounding
It
on
was
the
a
ball.
must ask you a question win.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
yeah,
You
Yeah.
started punching things.
Yeah. But it's hard to see in the dark under the tarp. Look- What? Oh, yeah. So those Iron Maiden tickets coming up shortly. Don't go anywhere because it is concert week happening now through the 14th. 1 week to get $25 concert and comedy tickets to fill your summer shows. To get your tickets, go to livenation.com/concert week to get those Iron Maiden tickets. Don't leave this station
Now, Rich,
ever.
serious question. And I don't mean offense by this. I promise you.
Of course, none.
Well,
taken.
you know what? If you start it with that, it's already offensive.
Did your parents hate you?
I don't think my mom liked me very much.
Okay, because I would imagine this is not a new thing where you like run into rooms and you don't really care about breaking walls and stuff. Like,
Dude, he's the Kool-Aid man.
he really is. But like when you were a child and like going through puberty, I would imagine Rich Orberger going through puberty would have been like the worst monster on the planet. Did you just destroy your house?
It was so bad. It was so bad. I'll give you an example. So I lived in my grandparents' house. My dad's parents allowed us to move in, and then like 3 incomes paid for this house's mortgage, and like we're living in a neighborhood we probably couldn't afford. And so my grandparents, they were like surrogate babysitters. Basically, like my parents, they had to work all the time when they weren't around. My grandpa and my grandma, who lived in an apartment we built for them in the 2nd floor of the house, they would come downstairs if we needed meals or if we were getting too loud, whatever, if they heard a giant bang, you know what I mean? So anyways, one time we had a basement to the house too. I'm in the basement with my brother. We had a punching bag, but it was one of those punching bags with the big weighted base. You filled it up with water. They call it like a Wave Master or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's got this big punching bag thing that you insert over the top of it. And so I'm punching this thing, but every time I punch it, it moves. So I tell him, like, could you hold the other side of the punching bag? So we're doing this, and then he's laughing because it's like flinging him off the other side. He's like 3 years younger than me, and I was a teenager at the time, so I was a pretty big, strong guy. So then he starts like jumping on top of the base and like hugging the punching bag so he can weigh it down more. And now I'm punching it and it's not moving as well. So I start kicking it. And he was like, kick it like as hard as you possibly can. I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea, Nikki. And he's like, no. He's like, you should probably just kick it as hard as you can. I'm like, all right. So I like swing my leg at this thing and it like tips all the way back the way I kicked it and then flings this way and then fires him off the back of it through a wall. He ends up landing in the hallway on the other side.
God.
So fortunately, the hallway had that like old school wood paneling. So he was between the drywall and the paneling sitting in the hallway.
As your grandma comes out of the bathroom.
Well, so I reached through the wall and I picked him up. I gathered his body. I'm like, are you dead? He was like laughing. So I pull him back into the bedroom we were standing in. And then I go on the other side using my sneaker. I nail the paneling back to that side of the hallway. And then we just moved a giant life-size poster of the former NBA player, Larry Johnson, grandmama. We had a 7-foot poster. It was
fantastic.
Like, we went to like a summer league game or something, and I hung it on the wall. And my grandfather didn't find that hole on both sides of the wall until I was 3 years into college. Like I was at Penn State. I was a starting guard on the Penn State Nittany Lions. And one time I came home and almost like by my ear, he dragged me downstairs and he goes, Richard, what is this?
By the way, that doesn't change between brothers. My brother and I, like 2 years ago, were up at my uncle's houseboat, and he ran me over with a jet ski trying to catch a football off the back of it. So, brothers, just older brothers specifically, like to injure younger brothers.
Yeah. He had a tough life growing up. Nicky went through a lot. Yeah,
That's fun.
He went through a wall. It was like a movie. It was legitimately like Lethal Weapon. I was like, talk to me, Riggs. Talk to me, Riggs.
I'm getting too old for this.
We are getting some reaction on the text line. We have another B- grade. That feels like
B-.
it's like the average grade we're seeing on the Padres so far this quarter through the season.
But does it kind of feel like it's like a 79.445%? and as the teacher, you're like, I'm gonna round up.
Yeah, and to that point, couple on Twitter, C Marsh says C plus because they're at 500. They're a 500 team, and 21 average. Funny name. C plus. We're definitely a 500 team, and we're gonna have to claw our way to a playoff spot.
Yeah.
It feels like it's going to have to be a fight towards the end of the season. Now, Rich, when you and TD brought up the idea of, well, if you just hang it together, if you keep it close all the way through and then go on a 10-game run at the end of the year, you'll be able to walk into the playoffs. I would not feel comfortable with them just keeping it close to that point and having to win 6 or 7 games out of their last 10 to get in. Like, I don't think you can leave it to that. I think if it doesn't get done soon, like right after the All-Star break or even before, they're going to have some trouble at the end of the year.
I'm not saying that I would feel comfortable with it, but I would feel hopeful with that. Yes. I would feel like you have the opportunity. The comfort level, I don't know, ever goes away with this team, which is unfortunate. The problem is you can't get down and have to fight your way back to that 500 mark. So like when they're facing the Dodgers now this weekend, it doesn't feel like they're going to win the series with the pitching matchups. However, if they can get 1 out of 3, then they're sitting 2 games behind 500. It's not they're that far back, but now if they get swept, all of a sudden that feels like you start to panic a little bit.
So if they get swept, or say they sweep the Dodgers, which doesn't feel possible, but say they do, all of a sudden the dynamic of the season,
Super Bowl.
It does.
Yeah, that would be.
It does seem like it changes a little bit.
It's a big series.
We'll get back to the series
for May, whatever. It's going to start on May 10th series. It feels pretty massive, and it feels like it's going to be the pendulous swing of this season. Is this series?
Speaking of pendulous,
wow, it's very, very descriptive. Hey, really quick, I wanted to get to this story. You remember when Myles Garrett hit Mason Rudolph with his helmet?
Yeah.
So Browns pass rusher Myles Garrett, it's a couple years back now, swung his helmet and landed a shot on a helmetless Mason Rudolph
with his own helmet.
Steelers quarterback. Yeah, ripped it off and then smacked him with it.
Yeah.
And I remember people were like, he should go to jail. Like, honestly, like, charges should be pressed. He should go to jail. And I remember saying and defending then, like, absolutely not. Like, I do not think that you should ever involve the law when it comes to players on the field, unless something like extremely out of cap, like
Happy Gilmore takes his skates off and slices someone's throat.
Right? Yeah, something like
that's still player to player.
Well,
murder.
Hang on. Yeah. If you are assaulting somebody with a knife or a skate,
but it's not the same situation. No. Football and UFC are very different. But these arguments came up, if you remember, a few years ago. It wasn't in the UFC; they've never had a death, but it was in one of the MMA fighting leagues where somebody died, and people were trying to say, no, the person who killed them should go to jail. And obviously, that's never going to happen because it's in a contact sport. It was nothing out of character of what was normally happening in the fight.
And I forget the name, but there was a guy in the Pittsburgh Penguins minor leagues.
This was just earlier this year.
Yeah, the United Kingdom, who had his neck cut by a skate, and it was because of a high skate on the ice. And people were saying, hey, the person who's guilty of this on the ice should go to jail, or at very least should be charged in court. And I was just like, whoa, like, where are we going? I mean, here's the deal. Patrick Beverley, I feel differently about this, because when a fan is involved, when you take a ball and you rocket it at a fan's face, you're crossing a big line. This is the reason why I don't like courtside seats. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed them in the past, but I don't think fans should be allowed to sit that close to action. I think it is a recipe for disaster, and we are waiting for the first fatality, whether it's a crazed fan running on the court like we've seen in the past, protests and things like that, who does something ostentatious or dangerous toward a player, or vice versa. Patrick Beverley was unhinged throwing that basketball as hard as he did at a fan. And so if this fan wants to press charges against Patrick Beverley, I think he should. And shoot, if they're not happy with the settlement check, take him to court. That is completely, to me, that is completely appropriate.
Yeah, justified. And it wasn't just a one-time deal either. He tossed the ball and didn't like how he tossed the ball, so he did it again.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot harder the second time.
yeah, I would say there's a problem there.
Yeah, absolutely. So interesting situation there. We'll get into this Dodgers series against the Padres. We haven't spoken very much about the Dodgers. Newsflash, they're good. This could be a rough one for the Pods, although there's one saving grace. We'll explain what that is on the other side. But first, want to talk about our saving grace here on this show. We were super fat fatties, and now we're not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're still a little husky. Like, we're big fellas, but we're about 30 pounds lighter apiece. TD's down over 30 pounds. I'm down over 35. Fletch, not only did he lose over 40 pounds the first time, but he's now lost 9 more pounds since restarting the weight loss on sdfatloss.com. So TD and I were in the maintenance phase after our major weight loss. We're on the maintenance phase. Fletch is back on the weight loss phase. And that's the awesome part about this plan is they meet you where you are. What's that? You want to lose weight? We got you. What's that? You want to maintain your weight loss? We got you. What's that? You want to lose more weight? Yeah, we could do that too. It's just customizable to the approach you want to take. But the one thing I can promise you is you're going to lose weight super fast as long as you listen to the great advice from Wayne and Chloe, our weight loss team.
Yeah. And you will feel so much better. And you get about a week into this thing and all of a sudden you start to move better. You wake up, it's easier to get out of bed, it's easier to tie your shoe, and you go, hold on.
Also, you can see the results. Like, the scale tells you you're doing a good job. It's really disheartening when you start a diet or you start getting in the gym and all of a sudden you're not seeing the results you want, or sometimes you see the scale tick up a couple pounds. It's really disheartening. With sdfatloss.com, my favorite thing about it was instant results. So in the first 4 days I was on this, I lost 10 pounds. TD had similar results. Same with Fletch. Within the first week, we had all lost 10 plus pounds. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So again, if you're looking to lose weight for the summer, the natural way, the clothes are starting to come off. You got the bathing suit and bikini pictures coming up on the Instagram and stuff like that. Go ahead and get to sdfatloss.com. And if you sign up now, you're going to save $200 as long as you mention the show, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
Tyreek Hill has entered the chat on the whole Austin Rivers NFL NBA thing.
I thought he was grading the Padres.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. So the Dodgers come to town. Got Michael King on the mound. Got Matt Waldron on the mound the first 2 games. And then Yu Darvish. One thing you could say about Darvish is against his former teams, he pitches really well. You saw it in the outing against the Cubs. He's got another opportunity here against another former team in the Dodgers. He likes to shut up the opposing fan base.
And so does Manny Machado. Manny Machado's always played well against the Dodgers as a Padre, and so is Fernando Tatis Jr., who didn't play on the Dodgers, but he's just always played well against the Dodgers. Now, I had to go back and look this up because I didn't believe it. Fernando Tatis Jr. has 6 home runs on this year. Last time he hit a home run was the last time they played against the Dodgers. He had 2 in 1 game.
Yeah.
Like, he's been cold as ice, and you just kind of hope that playing against the Dodgers gets these guys going.
Sorry. Immediately thought, coming up some Foghat.
Ready to sacrifice your love.
We got to separate him, TD.
It's hard. It's hard.
I know.
It's hard to put the partition in. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, maybe this is it. Maybe this is where it gets jump started, and all of a sudden the Padres get hot and they come out and they surprise us all, and they just start mopping up the Padres. They are mopping up the Dodgers. They played well actually against the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I mean,
didn't they sweep them, or did they win 2
No,
out of 3?
they
won the series.
Yeah, won
Took
the series.
two of the 3.
split the first one out in South Korea.
Yeah. Well, listen, so far so good against the Dodgers. I mean, really, if you split one, win one, and then again, I kind of agree with what you said. I think it was TD, where even if you just take 1 game from the Dodgers here, because on the other side, is it the Rockies coming to San Diego?
Yeah, it's a 6-game homestand, Dodgers then Rockies, and this is not set up well for Padres pitching. Like, if you wanted the all-star team pitching against the Dodgers, you don't have it. It's Matt Waldron, it's Michael King, Matt Waldron, Yu Darvish.
But would you rather it be you sneak one from the Dodgers and then you go sweep the Rockies?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, because then your all-stars are set up there. I'd rather have the wins.
Look, if you equal what you just did on this road trip, was a 4-2 road trip. If you go 4-2 between the Dodgers and the Rockies, you're stoked about it.
Yeah, do that all season.
Yeah, well, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
no argument here.
100 wins.
4-2 for every single the 6-game stretch.
Dude, you may be the number 1 team.
The other storyline about the Dodgers coming to town is, did you see what Ippei Mitsuhara is going to get in terms of jail time? So he pled guilty to stealing
up to.
So he pled guilty to stealing $17 million from Shohei Ohtani. He could get up to 30 years in prison for the crimes against his former best friend, Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. In fact, I think it's actually just over 30 years, up to like 35 years or 34 years for pleading guilty to this. Not good.
No.
Which, again, now if you were questioning the legitimacy of whether or not Shohei actually had money stolen, if he's going to go to prison for 30 years, I would say everything we're hearing is probably legit. Either that, or if we see Ippei's family all of a sudden rolling around with Bentleys.
Well, look, I'm here willing to admit that my speculation, or our speculation, was probably, look, it's, I don't feel wrong for speculating, because this is so unbelievable that somebody wouldn't notice such a massive amount of money being stolen from them. But if you have a crafty enough con man, things like this can happen. There have been great heists throughout the history of this country or this world. And Ippei Mitsuhara, he had everyone fooled for a little while. And most importantly, Shohei Ohtani, who he completely abused his trust as his liaison to everything, as his interpreter in the United States. And while that's very sad, I will say one of the funnier allegations that have rolled out recently about Ippei Mitsuhara is the fact that he allegedly sent some of Shohei Ohtani's stolen money to a Real Housewives star.
What?
to the husband of, let me see who it is. Let me get back to it.
Current cast member of the Real Housewives of Orange County, Ryan Boyajian, was allegedly an associate who Mitsuhara wired money to in order to pay off some of the excessive gambling debts to an alleged California bookmaker. So now the Real Housewives of Orange County are involved.
We're going to see this unfold
God.
all on the OGs of the OC, and I'm pumped about it.
Dude.
By the way, as we head into this Dodger series, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani are currently the 2 favorites for the NL MVP.
Sweet.
Shohei Ohtani's been hitting the cover off the ball the last couple of weeks. Mookie Betts has been on fire all year.
Yeah, but that's a side note if we're talking Real Housewives, because did you see the premiere of New Jersey?
No, actually half of it.
Is it going to be spicy?
It is so spicy.
It's Teresa Giudice still kicking it.
She is feisty.
And she's still in the middle of all the drama.
Feisty.
It's been like 20 years since she flipped the table at the restaurant and said 19 times, you prostitution whore.
Yeah, and she's still going at it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that show? Never heard of it.
Yeah.
So, like, what's her name again?
Teresa Giudice.
Giudice.
Her husband currently lives overseas in Cuba, maybe because he's not allowed in the United States.
He's back in Italy.
Oh, but no, he got kicked out of there too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he's living somewhere in the islands, and it's because he committed like
bank fraud
because of mortgage fraud.
Yeah, that's right, mortgage fraud. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, yeah, it's so great,
and she's still rich.
And every single one of these dudes is so juiced.
They're so Guidos,
that's
dude.
where we gotta get Fletch.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah, no, just juice.
No,
and very red.
We start with the tan, then we work our way to the testosterone, and then we get you right on some Good Feet store art supports.
Already there, baby.
Yeah, actually, that's true. Yeah, we all went together, went to Mission Valley store, the Good Feet store, and we got sized on our free, a consultation, try before you buy experience over at the Good Feet store. It's awesome. The first time you walk in there, it's to me, it was like a little confusing. I'm like, all right, so what exactly do you guys do? And they're like, it's really simple. We'll walk you through the whole process. And then one of their sales associates walked over to a little bay, is what I would call it, like this little, cubby area where I sat down on a bench, and, she did a couple of measurements on my feet. I ended up standing on this like ink pad, and they took like an impression of my foot. They sort of saw, they looked how my foot was balanced. They saw the things I need. And then they gave me a custom fit arch support that was going to make my feet feel better. Not just my feet though. Your feet are the foundation for the rest of your body. So if you have lower body joint pain and you have a bad foundation, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to be in more pain as you walk around. So this improved my ankle pain. Knee pain disappeared. I really struggle with hip and back pain. That went away. Look, after a 6-year NFL career, the joints, they were barking. And now using the Good Feet arch supports, I have so many more good days than I could have ever expected. I'm not getting surgeries. I'm not going under the knife again. I don't want to do that. And so I was looking for another option. This is the best option. So if you struggle with knee pain or foot or ankle pain, or if you have a bad hip or you got a bad back, you need to go to the Good Feet store today. That's goodfeet.com, goodfeet.com.
It's hour 3 on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by the West Automotive Group. We will begin here with the Padres, who take the series from the Cubs yesterday. 3-0 win. Dylan Cease, fantastic on the mound. 7 innings, giving up just 1 hit, striking out 12 batters. Day off today for the Pods before they start the 3-game series with the Dodgers tomorrow at Petco Park. In the NBA, the injured Knicks battle through it. They take game 2 over the Pacers, 130-121. That's a 2-0 series lead. And Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic winning his 3rd career league MVP award. We have his reaction coming up for you. It's a little embarrassing. Time is money, and there's no good time for your vehicle to break down. Keep your car and your schedule running smoothly with the West Automotive Group for the highest quality of customer service and vehicle repair. Visit westautomotivegroup.com today and book your appointment.
Oh, welcome back, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
What happened during the update?
And happy Thursday to those who celebrate. I'm going to send you a video of Fletch.
My peripheral vision is damning me because I'm looking at the computer to read, and in the corner of my eye, Travis is running into the wall. Rich is like crying on the table.
Well, I had to stand up because my butt hurt. And then that didn't sound right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been sitting.
Yeah,
he's been sitting way too long.
Yeah, that's why. That's
You
why.
guys want to restart?
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
This is working.
Fine. Yeah. So as I was standing up, I was laughing because of the video.
Oh my God. Yeah, Joe, look at your phone. You're gonna laugh too. Now you can get in on the action.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the Padres and Dodgers, they get going tomorrow. The weekend set begins with Michael King on the mound. He's going to go against, is it Tyler Glasnow? I think it's Tyler Glasnow. Glasnow has been unbelievable so far this season. He's a strikeout. I mean, he's striking people out at an alarming rate. So this is going to be no easy feat for the Padres, whose offense has had fits and starts over this season. And it feels like when a pitcher really needs their support, it's been, it's also been hot and cold. I mean, certain times it feels like they're supporting a pitcher who could really use them, and sometimes it feels like they're squandering opportunities. But overall this season, it's been kind of what it is. It's been kind of an average effort. You know, you have a 20-20 record through 40 games. We're about a quarter of the way through the season. And so we asked anybody listening to the show this morning, if you want to weigh in, you could throw a tweet up or text us at 70470. Start your message with team, or you could hit us up on the talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app. Just click that microphone button. It's right next to the play button. You can leave us a voicemail and talk about your grade for the Padres season so far. Right here, we have this from Twitter. C+. We're definitely a 500 team, and we're going to have to claw our way to a playoff start. How about this from Patrick? A+. That's all the tweets.
That's it. A+.
And then
A+
also
because they're exceeding all expectations.
we got this one, C+, because they're at 500 right now. So yeah, I mean the layup and the easy grade is, yeah, they're about a C baseball team.
Yeah. And I know there's been a number of people who've said B-, and I get that because of where they sit. They're sitting second place in the West. I mean, I understand that, and it also the potential is there. The problem I have with saying that they're a B- team and they're not in that C average category is it's been kind of a struggle just to stay 500. Like it's been kind of a battle.
Right. And it's a 5-game losing streak, and then you win. What are they at now? Like 7 out of 9 they've won the last,
which is great.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
But you look at this team's stats, and the numbers don't really lie here. And you look top to bottom of the guys who play every day for the most part, the top 8 guys in this lineup. Here's the order of their batting average. And there's 2 guys above 300, or no, 1 guy, Jerkson Profar, and then Jake Cronenworth's at 292. Jake Cronenworth has been an awesome surprise this way, by the way, bouncing back from the way he played last year. But then it's Jackson Merrill, Luis Campusano, then Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Ha-Seong Kim. So the bottom 4 in terms of production, in terms of batting average, are 4 guys who are all relied upon to be offensive players on this team.
Yeah.
Like they're not, Manny Machado is an excellent defender. So is Fernando Tatis Jr. So is Ha-Seong Kim. That's not what they're here for.
No, who cares? We can find good defense. Go hit the baseball. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, you don't want to have a team like the Bad News Bears out there where the ball's hit at them and they're just bouncing off of them. But like, honestly, if Manny Machado was an average defender, but he was hitting 350, would anybody really give a damn? The answer is no, because he's hitting 350.
Right.
If Manny Machado had 12 home runs to this point, you know, and was hitting had a 340 batting average, nobody would bat an eye at also having 3 errors at third base through 40 games. Like, no, who cares? Like,
But by the way, if those numbers were there, if those were their numbers this season, you wouldn't be looking at errors because their record would be 25-15.
Fernando Tatis Jr. wasn't a particularly good shortstop. In fact, there were seasons where he was playing shortstop, or a season where he was playing shortstop, where he kind of sucked.
But
he
made it look cool.
Well,
he had 40-something home runs that year.
Yeah.
So it's like, who cares? Defense is an important part of the game. I understand that. But my point being, when you're paying guys at the top of your lineup, the kind of money that the Padres are paying Tatis and Machado and Bogarts, they need to hit the baseball.
Yeah, being 255 and below on your batting average is not acceptable.
Let's just say that PEDs all of a sudden started being used.
Now you're
okay.
talking.
Okay. Like how long before they get caught? Like a season?
Maybe, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying.
So in a hypothetical world, hypothetical
Yeah.
meaning not this one.
Right. No, not this one.
You got that?
Yep. Not this world, of course.
I think they should go for it.
I mean, like all of a sudden, like let's just say, like there is a ringworm just runs rampant
If
through the
everyone
locker
could
room.
look at me completely honestly right now and tell me that some of the biggest stars in the game aren't using them, then I'll shut up about this.
Right.
But that's not the case.
Well, here's what I will say.
Allegedly.
I would say, allegedly. I would say that there are many more clean baseball players and clean athletes in general than you would expect.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, though.
No.
And the fact of the matter is, Fernando Tatis Jr. is a different ball player on the other side of his suspension.
But it was just a topical ointment.
He's a different baseball player. I don't know if he's going to recover and become the baseball player he was when the Padres were giddy about getting him on a long-term deal. Maybe he'll return to that prowess. Maybe it's all psychological. Maybe the suspension had an effect on him that we're not really seeing the scars of because he doesn't talk about, but it still weighs heavy on his mind, because this is legacy shifting stuff. I mean, trust me when I tell you, he probably will never get a Hall of Fame call. And it's because he screwed up.
And last season, I called it the apology tour. I still stand by that. I think that you had to go through that season of saying, hey, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm back. Hey, I'm going to be, clean and do everything the right way and follow every single rule and click every check mark here. This season, you're done with that. You're past it. Go ahead and step on the gas, buddy. Rock and roll.
You know who's leading the Padres in strikeouts?
Who?
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If you ain't swinging, you ain't gonna hit the ball.
38 strikeouts so far this season. He does have 7 home runs, so I was wrong about that. He must have hit one recently that I missed. But so his last home run was not in the last Dodgers series. But it's the production has been so lacking from Fernando so far this year. And that sucks because the Padres are a lot more fun to watch when Fernando is doing Fernando things. And I can't wait to see him get back to that. I hope he does, and I hope it's this season. I hope it's this series against the Dodgers.
Insert any name in that sentence.
Yeah, but Fernando's different.
When
Fernando's doing things that
we'll say the same thing about Manny.
Yes, you're kind of right, but not all the way. Like when Fernando's on a tear, it's different from anyone else in baseball. The only one I can liken it to even is Ellie De La Cruz out in Cincinnati. Those are the two guys who I feel like bring a different energy than anybody else across all of baseball.
Yeah, they're lightning rods. It's a spark to the team when they're out there rocking and rolling. So you would think that if Fernando's doing well, it would fire up the rest of the lineup.
Well, listen, this is a team rolling off of a winning season against the Cubs. It's no easy feat to string together winning series, and they've done that many times over this year.
And I did see they're the only team to go into Wrigley this year and win the series.
And so,
that's right.
I look, it sounds downtrodden, but a 500 record can be equally pessimistic as it is optimistic. And to look at it through an optimistic lens, since Luis Arraez arrived as a San Diego Padre, it feels like there's a little bit more energy and enthusiasm that this whole squad is playing with. I feel like it signaled to this clubhouse, hey, we are making a run for the playoffs. Like, we are improving. We're adding to this lineup. We're giving you more support. We're going to get you a pretty consistent base runner. Like, if there's one thing Arraez can do is he can get on base
and score. He scored twice yesterday.
That's what I mean. Like, he's going to be in scoring position a lot because he's kind of a singles hitter. He can bloop it. He could run out doubles. Like, he's not a power hitter, but he's going to get on base a ton. So if you could just back him up with some support hits, he's going to cross home base a bunch this season. So yeah, look, I get it. Yeah. The top of the lineup, not playing well, but if this team keeps hitting and they keep this momentum, it's going to be a successful season.
Not to add more negative on the fire, but the only 4 guys on the Padres who have struck out more than 30 times this year are Fernando, Manny, Xander, Ha-Sung.
Sweet.
Great.
Kevin Acee
Sorry.
was out in Chicago.
Here, you want to restart?
Yeah, well, yeah, if you don't mind. Just Kevin Acee was out in Chicago. He sent us a picture of the Chicago Dogs. Was it Wrigleyville Dogs at Wrigley Stadium?
That hot dog that's pictured right there looks awesome.
It's $5.
What?
That's what I'm saying. $4.99? How do they do it?
Oh, so serious question here. I'm going for a week to Wisconsin and Michigan, but in the middle, we're driving through Chicago.
Yeah.
Instead of going to a Brewers game, because that's what we were planning on doing to see the ballpark, should we just go to a Cubs game if they're there? Like, because Kevin was talking about the Wrigley Field like it's the most amazing thing in the world.
I've never been to Wrigley. I don't know.
I've driven by it. It's cool.
That's right.
We're just talking about it. Padres are back in pre-streak mode. Padres
engaged.
They win against the Cubs yesterday, 3-0. Dylan Cease, he was on fire. Pitched 7 scoreless innings, struck out 12 batters. Shohei Ohtani's ex-translator and best friend Ippei Mitsuhira will plead guilty to multiple federal charges after admitting to taking nearly $17 million from the Dodgers superstar. He now faces more than 30 years in prison. It was the U.S. Justice Department announced that yesterday, that Ippei would soon face the music after agreeing to plead guilty to 1 count of bank fraud and 1 count of filing a false tax return for the extensive multi-year fraud. Good Lord. NHL playoffs, game 2 between the Panthers and the Bruins ends with a massive brawl. In fact, there were so many altercations in the final minutes of the game that the third period included 17 penalties for 136 penalty minutes, and the teams combined for 158 total penalty minutes. And that, folks, is a lesson on how every sporting event should end.
More fights?
More fights.
Yeah.
In the NBA, New Yorkshire Terrier, the Pacers, 130-121, promo code DOGS.
Bark, bark.
Bark, 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 bark. Prize picks.
More or less.
Pick more.
Whatever.
Pick less. We don't care.
Yeah.
Just download that.
Just pick it.
Use promo code
Yeah.
DOGS.
So Boomer Esiason is out there stirring up some drama in the NFL world.
Boomer
Yeah,
Esiason.
Was that the only game?
That was
One
one game. Yeah, one game.
Yeah, Boomer Esiason in the news today because of
Thank
something
God.
he said on WFAN out there in New York. Rich, did you grow up listening to WFAN?
WFAN.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. WFAN, New York.
So here's the quote from Boomer. He said, "Do not be surprised if the NFL and Netflix get in bed for a nice little Christmas Day football games.
Ooh.
I would not be surprised at all." So apparently that's why the NFL schedule release has been delayed a little bit here. The NFL is out there trying to get as much money as possible for the Christmas Day games, which fall on a Wednesday this year, by the way.
NBA is so stoked.
NFL.
I'm
What?
just saying.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah,
NBA is pissed.
Yeah, exactly.
But so the NFL is going to dominate that day once again. But how would you guys feel if they dominate that day on Netflix?
Okay, so I have mixed feelings about this. So I'm a Netflix subscriber. I've been for, well, as long as there's been streaming apps.
At the risk of getting darted here, I'm a Netflix stealer from my
Ooh,
father-in-law.
wow.
He's
Wow.
okay with it.
Wait, you can still do it?
Yeah, it's
different household. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you know, I was sharing a couple passwords. That was shut down in recent months.
Well, so Fletch is on the he's on the lamb from the law.
Yeah.
Please don't get me Netflix.
Can you imagine if all of a sudden somebody walks around that corner?
I mean, he watches in Arizona. We watch in San Diego.
Dart in his neck. Wow.
It's a family account. It's my father-in-law.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. But, yeah.
They all live in the same household.
Yeah. Same IP address.
So yeah, I was an early adopter with Netflix. I had an account before even cut the cord or any of that stuff. I just liked having the option to go to Netflix and see what they had going on and available there. So, I mean, this is no skin off my back, but the problem is this is going to piss off a lot of people who don't have Netflix accounts. Is going to be, and it seems like it's kind of ubiquitous at this point. Like everybody has Netflix, but there's a lot of people who don't.
Yeah.
And that this is going to affect the overall number of people who actually view these games on Christmas. But we're entering this a la carte. You have the menu of apps that you could select from, and you're going to have to know which apps games are being played on, and you're going to have to kind of bounce around and find which one. This is where the future is heading. So whether you like it or not, but the future's here. This is what it is now, and live sports are only going to be continue to add to Netflix or other streamers.
How many people live in the United States?
350 million.
Yeah.
So as of right now, according to company data, Netflix has 80.13 million paying subscribers between the US and Canada. Canada makes up about 30% of that. So that's not, well, I guess if there's a lot of people like me out
50
there,
million people.
that's multiple accounts.
Yeah. I mean, there will be that. Look, the NFL,
That number's low to me.
how it seems low. Yeah. But I mean, the NFL kind of dipped their toe into the streaming market here when they signed up with Amazon Prime a couple years ago. And there was some backlash on that. And that has now been pretty much silenced, I would say.
Guys,
What? What are you? So we're starting our own streaming
No.
account. Oh, I don't know.
Al Michaels got the job at Amazon Prime. Nobody's been announced to have a job at Netflix for something like this.
That's us.
The Big Rich, TD, and Fletch Christmas Spectacular Netflix NFL edition.
Now you're
Wow.
talking.
Wow.
Now you're
Rich,
Wow.
you played in the NFL.
Yeah.
Maybe I should call my NFL friends and also Netflix. Hey, Ted Sarandos, or whatever your name is.
Yeah.
We want to be on television
Listen.
or stream.
We could also change our last name to Manning if that helps.
We already have a Jason Witten.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Wait, who's Jason Witten?
Remember Jason Witten was awful on the ESPN broadcast?
Yeah.
TD.
Why would you
Thanks.
say
What's
that?
going on with that?
That's
Or
awful.
me.
Wait, how are we?
What
wait,
am I
wait.
supposed to do with that?
What a terrible sales
Yeah.
package! Like, hey, Netflix, hire us. This guy sucks.
Yeah, but he was viral.
Oh yeah.
Jason Witten got more eyeballs on that broadcast to see how bad he would be.
Oh no.
Wow.
Jason Witten was tanking their ratings. That's
Yeah,
the
he
reason.
was
You
the
know-
laughing stock.
You'll
That's the reason why
be our Brian Dunkelman.
Yeah.
How about that?
I don't
Yeah.
know who that is.
That was the co-host season 1 American Idol. He
Yeah.
gone. He
What?
gone.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Brian Dunkelman.
Yeah.
Ryan Seacrest and Brian Dunkelman
What?
were co-hosts of American Idol. Brian Dunkelman went, "This show's going nowhere."
Is he dead?
No. But they've done interviews with him, and he's like, "Yeah, look, I've got a couple regrets."
So it was his choice to leave.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Ryan Seacrest has made how many millions of tens of millions of dollars since then?
Right.
Mhm.
Because of T-Mobile.
Look, here's the deal. I think that this will piss people off, but again, this is where the times are going.
Yeah, but okay.
Change occurs faster than most people want it to occur, and I don't love that it leaves fans out or on the outside looking in, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but the NFL will be smart about it, and they will give the broadcast rights to some primetime games, and everyone will be happy with that. And Netflix will get a couple early games, and if you have Netflix, you'll get to see those games. And if you don't, then you're going to catch the primetime games, and people won't really be complaining that much.
Ryan Seacrest was making $15 million a year on American Idol.
How much is he making on Wheel of Fortune?
Oh, yeah. Is he doing? Oh, that's right. We were
$15
just
million
talking about it.
a season to
I
say
think
you're
it's-
going to Hollywood.
Yeah, I think it's about the same on Wheel of Fortune.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Right.
he's doing okay.
Yeah,
I think,
he'll
what?
make it, I think.
Honestly, yeah, he's doing okay.
I heart
Yeah.
brother.
And apparently he thought Kelly Ripa was so bad that he bailed on Live with Kelly and Ryan.
Oh yeah,
And then they couldn't get anybody else, so they got her husband.
Can you imagine that? They're like, well, I
And they
guess.
didn't
Yeah.
call me.
Yeah,
No, they didn't. Yeah, I would have signed up.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No question
I
about it.
I don't even need a dressing room.
No, definitely not.
There's no help for this. He's no makeup artist.
Yeah, they would say, well, maybe you don't need it, but we need you to have
We're
one.
like,
What?
maybe we should turn the lights down on TD's side of
What
this
do you think
set.
about this?
TD,
Yeah, just
we're gonna
dark.
have to cut your contract because we need to pay makeup people more.
The Padres,
Easy, Brian Dunkelman.
they've hit the quarter mark of their season. We're asking for your report card. Give us a letter grade on the Padres. We'll read some of those texts, those tweets. We'll listen to those talkbacks on the other side. But I want to talk to everybody about something very close to my heart. That's the man zone.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. The man zone? Yeah, I'm talking about the man zone. So, look, there's a bit of a misconception about testosterone. Okay. These treatments, they for the most part, people will start going in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s. And that's true. Don't get me wrong. Like if you're 40 or older, you should get tested for your T levels every single year. I'm a firm supporter of that. But that's just simply not the case. It's not just for people in their 40s, 50s, or 60s. I'm in my 30s. I mean, I'm a former professional athlete. And when I was at the man zone and they tested my T levels, I was in the 300 level. It was way lower than it should be at my age. And it did have an effect on me. I mean, the symptoms I was reporting were things like sluggishness and tiredness, regardless of how good of a night of sleep I've had, how much I've been working out, or how good my diet was. I just couldn't get out of this funk. And since I've started taking testosterone replacement therapy, I feel so much better. And testosterone treatment is a serious deal. So you got to go with the team that you trust. And I trust Dr. Roy David at the Man Zone. He's the medical director there, but he's also a double board certified plastic surgeon. This is a real doctor. There's a couple of these clinics, and I'm not going to name names, but they don't have real doctors who are backing the science that needs to go behind balancing hormones and getting you the help you need. So the Man Zone is a safe place to go. They have a great staff, super accommodating. A lot of familiar faces immediately around that building. You'll be working with the same people every single time. They have this awesome waiting room. I know I talk about the waiting room at this place, but they have this big screen TV, always got a sports station on. They got beers in the fridge, a couple of snacks for you. I love snacks. They got a little bourbon you can even tipple for yourself if it's been a day. I love the Man Zone. So you got to get down there. Again, don't wait if you're in your late 30s. Like I was 37 when I first went over there and found out that I was in the lower end of average, and I've optimized my testosterone levels now, and I feel so much better. Check them out at themanzone.com. And when you mention this show, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, you can save $50 off your first testosterone treatment. All you got to do is go to themanzone.com, mention our show name. Okay, 877-767-4760. We got some Iron Maiden tickets to give away.
That is correct. Let's do this at 8:29. That's 2.5 minutes. That way, if you're listening on the free iHeartRadio app, you can get in on this as well. Caller number 5 at 829, 877-767-4760. You are going to go see Iron Maiden.
Hey, it's Fletch for SDFatLoss.com, and it's kind of crazy how quickly weight can sneak up on you and how quickly it can become an active problem in your life. It happened to me. I get out of college and I'm still in relatively good shape, and then I get into work every day, and it was about 6 years later where it turns out I was 278 pounds. I'd gained 50 pounds, and it really came out of nowhere, and it's not something that I ever expected to have to deal with in my life, but I did. I was on a beach in Mexico, and then when I got back, I found out I was 278 pounds, and I look at some of the pictures, and I'm like, yeah, you were a fatty. And then I met the folks over at SDFatLoss.com, and really, it did change my life in a real positive way, and it can do the same thing for you. SDFatLoss.com has me down in the 230s now, feeling fantastic. I'm still losing. I'm trying to get back to that 220 range, which is where I was in college and felt great about myself, but it's incredible the little differences that it makes in everyday life, like just getting out of bed or feeling a little better when you wake up in the morning. And it's all come true with SDFatLoss.com. If you are starting to realize this about yourself, that you've started to have an issue over the last couple of years where you're getting up and that scale is not a number you want it to be at, get on over to SDFatLoss.com today. They will make a huge change in your life. Our friends Wayne and Chloe, they've been our weight loss team through this whole ordeal, and it works, man. And the accountability and having a buddy to do it with is even better. But right now, I'm in competition with myself every single day. When I step on the scale, I want to see it lower than it was the day before. And since I've gotten back on the reduction phase over the last week or so, it's doing that. I'm down 9 pounds since last Wednesday. SDFatLoss.com. It works quick, and it'll make a big, big change in your life. So if you're ready to do it, get on over to SDFatLoss.com today. $200 off the program when you mention Big Rich, TD, and Fletch at sign up. Get on over to SDFatLoss.com. Tell Wayne and Chloe we said what up. This update is presented by the West Automotive Group. We will start off here with the Padres. Dylan Cease, fantastic yesterday. 7 innings, giving up just 1 hit, striking out 12 batters. They were playing against the Cubs. It was a 3-0 win. Padres take that series. Day off today for the Pods before they start their 3-game series with the Dodgers tomorrow at Petco Park. If you're looking for a spot to pregame the action, get on over to the Naughty Barrel. Darren Smith will be there noon to 3. John and Jim 3 to 6. And in the NBA, the injured Knicks battled through it. Jalen Brunson missing a majority of the first half. He's dominant in the second half. They take game 2 over the Pacers, 130 to 121. That's a 2-0 series lead for the New York Knicks. Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic wins his 3rd career league MVP award. And some NFL news from this morning. The New York Giants have signed veteran wide receiver Allen Robinson to add to their receiver room. If you're experiencing transmission issues, contact West Automotive Group to get your car back in top shape. Repairs, maintenance, oil changes, and more done by ASE certified technicians. Find the location closest to you and book today at westautomotivegroup.com.
Stay connected with San Diego Sports 760. No matter where you are, whether you're stepping out of your car or settling in at home, just command. Do not settle for anything less. Command your Google or Alexa smart speaker to play AM 760 or use the free iHeart app for seamless listening. It's like having your favorite station right in your pocket.
San Diego Sports 760. Eat fresh.
Yep.
That's our slogan.
Yeah,
Eat
that's
fresh.
So the Arizona, what are they? Coyotes? Phoenix Coyotes. They
the Phoenix Suns.
no. That's the hockey team.
Oh, the Coyotes.
The Coyotes, yeah. So hockey team, they leave, they go to Utah.
Yeah.
Utah puts out this deal online of, hey, you're going to get to vote on whatever the team name's going to be. Apparently, they didn't like any of the submissions because they've decided, hey, this season, we're just going to keep it simple. We're going to go by Utah. They're just Utah. They're not the Utah of Utahs. They're not the Utah of hockey club. No.
You can't. They're the Utah at least. So they're gonna. Okay. So when you announce a game coming up, it's going to be the New York Islanders against Utah.
That's it. That's all. Not the Utah. Not HC. Not hockey team. Utah.
My God,
they are blowing it here. They have some great opportunities.
Well, I guess they don't have to change the jerseys like those.
Because they're just gonna say Utah.
Because if they're gonna be the Utah whatevers at some point, they can still keep those jerseys. I guess
Come on. That's the setback of like, hey, look, we do not want to spend another $800 on jerseys, guys.
Are you talking about the new team names?
They're Utah's just going with
Yeti,
Utah.
Freeze.
They're not going with any of those.
Oh, there was an article this morning. The new names that are possibilities.
Well, they announced as of yesterday, as far as the nickname concerned, the franchise won't have one for the 2024-25 campaign. Rather, they will simply go by Utah. And it will just
doing a Dale.
Utah.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
is that Velma?
I think that's Daphne.
Oh yeah, Velma was the one with the glasses. That's Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
It's working.
I'm telling you, dude, Instagram has stepped up their game in a big way.
Well, I think they found the opportunity that TikTok is slipping.
Yeah.
So they were like, hey, you know what? We can gather this audience. She's just in her PJs dancing.
Well, you guys are being pervs. I'd like to give a special shout out. Paul just won those tickets. Listens every single day. First time calling in for tickets.
Yeah.
Paul, enjoy life out there in Lakeside. It was good talking to you, man. Thank you for being along for the ride.
Yeah, buddy. Paul, we appreciate it. And enjoy those Iron Maiden tickets. We're going to have another pair coming up in just a little bit. So if you're interested in seeing Iron Maiden, maybe making a new friend named Paul because he's going, you have an opportunity in there's 24 minutes left in the show. So in the next 24 minutes, you are winning Iron Maiden tickets.
We're doing it again?
What's that?
Sure.
Okay. All right, cool.
Oh, yeah. I didn't ask Fletch. Can we give away Iron Maiden tickets?
Damn right we can.
Yeah,
but that one show that we were going to give away 3 of them next week, now we're only giving away 2.
Oh, all right. That's cool.
Well, you got to rob Peter to pay Paul sometimes. And literally, we just gave Paul tickets.
Here are the team names that they're going to use that I guess are going to be in the bracket. But this year, they're like, nah, we're just going to go Utah. The Black Diamonds.
Oh, boring.
That's a skiing joke.
Skiing joke, yeah.
Oh, because it's like the hardest one.
Yeah.
Double black is the hardest.
The Utah Blast. The Utah Blizzard.
Blast. I guess that's an avalanche.
Why are they doing all snow?
Yeah,
Utah has other
snow.
seasons.
Well, they're going Utah Canyons.
That's cool.
Okay. I kind of dig this one just because I want to see a goofy reindeer, the Utah Caribou.
I actually do like that.
Yeah, I like the caribou.
Can you do a caribou noise?
What do they do? I think you just did it. The Utah Freeze, the Utah Frost, the Utah Fury, the Glaciers, and here we got a boring one. Utah HC. Wait, there's a glacier in Utah?
I don't mind the Glaciers.
I thought Yeti was on the list. I saw it. I actually thought that'd be a badass name for a hockey team.
Wasn't that a Gatorade flavor?
Yeti?
No,
Glacier Freeze. Glacier Freeze.
Glacier Freeze was the white one. It is tasty. I like that.
Yeah. Well, they could be sponsored by Gatorade.
That's a good point.
Utah HC, the Utah Hive, which I do believe is like the bees, and there's a Mormon.
I thought that was Beyonce fans.
Oh God, that would be awful. Utah Ice, the Utah Mammoth, the Utah Mountaineers, the Outlaws.
Mammoth is in California.
Well, okay.
Do they find like mammoth bones?
I'm sure they did. Yeah, there's like more dinosaur bones than any other state in Utah.
Yeah, that's true.
The Outlaws, the Powder, which I'm assuming means
mammoths
cocaine.
aren't dinosaurs. Do you know that?
Mammoths aren't dinosaurs.
The Utah White Lightning. The
Wait,
Utah.
do you think that mammoths are dinosaurs?
Bam Bam. These are all cocaine references.
I think that mammoths were around after the end of the dinosaurs,
Right,
but
they're
they
not
are also
dinosaurs.
extinct.
You said that the most dinosaur bones were found.
You're correct. I did say
They
that.
actually
I should have said more fossils are dug up in Utah than any other state.
They actually have a dinosaur called a Utahsaurus. Did you know that?
Because it was discovered in Utah?
Yeah, it's a Utah raptor. I was wrong. A Utah raptor because like they started naming them after the state because they found so many different species of dinosaur bones or fossils in Utah.
Not Lake Hemet, but what was not Dominagoni, Diamond Valley Lake over in Hemet when they made that reservoir, they dug up a bunch of mammoth bones.
The Utah nose candy is the next one?
Yeah, nose candy's the next one.
A morning monologue I had saved away that I want to bring up right now because we're talking about dinosaurs.
Nose candy night is so fun.
The videos where people are saying like this is how a T-Rex actually sounded. They didn't roar, they like clicked or whatever. I don't know. But how do they possibly know how a dinosaur sounded?
Yeah, I don't know. I always question that too. I question how do they know what color they were?
Dude, like I remember I was watching a video recently. I thought I was going to hear what a dinosaur sounded like for the first time because this guy with a British accent, he's like, they have done so much work to recreate for the first time ever the sound that a dinosaur makes.
Yes.
Yeah, they show like a digital image of like the skull moving around. And it was just like, they were like, we've isolated the vocal cords. We saw exactly how the structure of the throat, all these things. And then at the end, it was like, get in the car, bitch. Just like,
banana bread
at work, dude? I was like, come on. I mean, they got me so good. Yes.
Oh, internet wins.
Internet always wins.
Swarm, Venom, Yeti. Those are, and Squall. Those are your choices. And there's a lot of choices. They shouldn't have had that many.
I mean, they kind of missed on all of those.
Yeah, I would honestly, my top would be caribou.
Caribou, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
See a live caribou on the ice.
Are there caribous in Utah? There must be if they're coming up with caribou.
Yes, I don't know.
Is caribou just like a really big deer?
It's a reindeer.
How about this? Coming up in just about 6 minutes, we're going to tell you how to win those Iron Maiden tickets. So that's just 6 minutes away. Also, we have Bottom of the Barrel. Been a busy show. And we're going to wrap it up the right way. That's what's coming up next. Big Rich, Teen, and Flex. And what?
Prize Picks.
Oh, I didn't see it. Wasn't highlighted. Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, everybody.
I know you need the yellow highlight.
Yeah, I do. Otherwise, I will not see it in the copy. Look, the point is Prize Picks is my favorite app. In fact, I went to whatever it was, the usage data on my phone recently, and I'm on Prize Picks more than just about any other app on my phone. So it just goes to show you how much fun it is. There are times where I'm not even building a lineup. I'm just seeing what point totals are available or how many rebounds are available, to pick more or less on. Sometimes it's just fun to see, right? Or sometimes I start building a lineup. I'm like, ooh, I'm not ready to submit yet, which is cool because they save it for you. Prize Picks is really user-friendly is what I'm trying to say. Prize Picks has won me a lot of money is what I'm trying to say. Prize Picks, you automatically get $100 if you download the app, sign up with promo code DOGS, that's DOGS, and deposit $100 because they will match your deposit up to $100.
And the playoff season for basketball, they're doing some really special things. They got stars all over the board. If you include a star in your lineup, your payout's going to be 10% higher than it would have been otherwise. So get on over there for playoff basketball. You're watching the games anyways. Might as well have a little skin in the game. And if you have the skills, you can win up to 100 times your money. I did that one time. I had a lineup of all demons and I put like a $2 entry in on it because I just was nervous about having that many odds stacked against me. And it won. And the 200 times your money, a $200 win, that's for real. And the quick withdrawals, man, it's not like some of the other apps where it could take weeks or months to even for you to get the money that you won. I won on a Sunday. The money was in my bank account Monday morning. I had to pay rent on the Tuesday. What do you think I used? All right, Prize Picks, man. If you got the skills, you can make some serious coin here. They also offer that
gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
No, Prize Picks, not gambling. So with Prize Picks, the injury insurance is awesome. So if you're watching a basketball game and somebody gets hurt in the first half, your lineup is still going to be in play in the second half, even though that guy's not playing.
Yeah, look, with Prize Picks, the app couldn't be simpler. It couldn't be better. It couldn't be more user-friendly. So download it today. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code DOGS. That's DOGS, DOGS. And you're going to have your first deposit doubled up to $100. So you put in 25, you're playing with 50. You put in 50, you're playing with $100. You put in $150, you're playing with $250 because they only match up to $100. You get the point. Look, I struggle with math all the time. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Prize Picks. Iron Maiden tickets coming up in just a few minutes. We'll tell you exactly when to call. So hang in there if you want to go out to Iron Maiden. Paul, congrats to Paul. Yeah. He won our first pair today. We have a second pair to give away, and we will in just a little bit. Bottom of the barrel, there was a video of aliens spotted in Vegas, which is totally authentic and cannot be denied according to experts.
Was that the strip club one?
No. No, not the strip club one, because that was a UFO over the strip club. This was a video that came out, I think, a few months ago. Somebody called and said, hey, there was something that fell out of the sky. They called the police. Several people did. And then somebody had said, hey, there's something in my backyard.
Oh, I
the
saw
police
that video.
showed up, and on the police body cam video, you can see some sort of person, being, shadow, something that's moving, humanoid. And the police officers actually are startled. They freak out. They get out of the backyard, and then they go back in like guns drawn.
Oh my
and
God.
They can't find anything. Well, experts have said, yeah, this video is not doctored. There's something in the video. Now, whether or not that's a 9-10 foot alien, there's something in the video that's there.
They walk among us.
Yeah, they're here. They're here.
There's no question about it now,
Is it
gentlemen.
weird that I'm kind of excited?
Well,
Like, you want to fight one?
No, I just want to talk to one.
I hope they're not hostile, because anything that's 9 foot tall, just in general, stands a pretty good chance of just being able to rough you up a little bit.
You wouldn't think they'd be hostile, right? They'd be attacking people already, wouldn't they?
Oh
I mean,
my
if
God,
it was
there
like
it is.
Predator.
What if they're doing mental games?
I'm looking at the video right now.
Yeah,
I mean, there is definitely something there.
right.
I mean,
right.
there's no question about
Now, is it a 9 foot alien? We don't know. We don't know.
UFO expert
Could
on
be
the show
Bigfoot.
tomorrow?
I reached out to an expert.
Of course
Yeah.
you did. Of course you
I
did.
reached out to an expert who said that he can debunk the video, saying that it is it's just a matter of light. But he also said, hang on.
Yeah. Who is it?
Hang
What's the
on.
name of this guy?
His name is where'd it go?
Ben?
Yeah, it was Ben Benson.
Ben Benson.
Um,
Interesting.
But
See what his credentials are.
yeah, he said he listens to the show,
Okay.
which is
Wait,
cool.
really?
Yeah.
Is he in San Diego?
I guess he listens to the show, and he said that he had some new information that he wanted to talk about, some new videos that were out there. I'm trying to find his.
Oh, dude, he has
message here.
like 12,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah, he's got shows on Apple TV. He's got shows on Discovery Plus. But he said he's got some work stuff he couldn't get on today, but he said we can try next week. He has some other new cases we're breaking stories on soon as well that he would talk about
What
here
about
on the show.
Our guy Earl Grey T.
I can call him if you
Okay.
want.
Move
All
on.
right. I
Yeah, yeah.
found so DMAX UK, I guess, is where Ben Hansen is. It Ben Hansen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I guess it. I
I thought that was the guy that gave out the roses in The Bachelor.
Dude, I'm gonna subscribe to his page.
What?
This is incredible.
Wait, that's his page, DMAX UK.
I think so, or he works for DMAX, or he's making shows for DMAX. Yeah, it's all the. Actually, we had this guy on. Isn't that the guy we had on? The other guy?
That's
From-
the other guy. That's Earl Grey.
That's Earl Grey.
That's
from,
Earl Grey,
from
yeah.
MUFON.
Yeah, Earl Grey. Earl Grey will probably join us tomorrow if you want.
Okay, we need to get somebody on
Yeah.
because we need confirmation as to whether they walk among us or not. Ben Hansen, Earl Grey, whoever. We need an expert. Okay, if you want those Iron Maiden tickets, 877-767-4760, you got to call in at exactly 8:55. 8:55 Pacific Daylight Time. Iron Maiden, you're taking a friend, 877-767-4760. Ben, Fletch, who do we think?
We think our new best friend who's on the Detroit Tigers, what's his name?
His name is Andrew Chafin.
Dude's a badass. Look him up.
Yeah.
He is the real life Kenny Powers come to play some ball.
How many beers do you think he drinks per game?
19.
10, at least 10.
Yeah.
At least 10.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, TD. Thank you to the roadies, the dogs, the hangers, the bangers. Paul, it was great chatting with you for a minute. Thank you for listening, brother. And we will see y'all tomorrow.
There you go. The herd is next. It's a Bar Car Friday tomorrow, brought to you by King and Bottle. We'll see you then.